Okay.
Welcome to the Out There channel. Looks like we've got the intro music again. I will be with you in a minute. Live stream 352, I think it is. A few things I forgot to do. Trying to speed it up now. This is why we have a long intro at the moment. Always comes in handy. I still need to revamp it. It's going to be a next year. Going to be a next year project. The intro remake.
Goof-ons has been ages.
Why is it not working? We should be getting speed now. Looking good. I think we're the only ones on. Twitch stats are way behind the stats. They don't just updated here now.
It says 5.
It says 3 here. Oh, are we up to the hello? Hello, good to be back. Good to be back. I'll be back. Can't get rid of this that easy. You know the rules. No hardcore swearing on the side. Even if you do, we've now got a Autobot. Oh, why is that starting up again? I thought I'd unticked it. Oh. Is it behaving? Sometimes it kicks it off again. Yeah, I did untick it. Oh well, looks like it's all going. Let's see, top up the welcome message on the side and see if anyone shows up, because it should have sent email around by now.
Hi Plex.
We got Plex on.
Hi Plex.
To channel live stream. I just have to get my head around it. Lack of sleep. 5/2 Sunday. UFO cases with Robert. That'll do. What is it? Men in Black was one of them. Scott was another one. What was the other one? Water UFOs. There we go, that'll do. And everything's going good. It looks like they've improved the chat still. Yeah. So where do we go from here, Robert? It's over to you. Hopefully the audio is good.
Yeah, I think I'm not going to cover this in too much detail because I think you've already done this either midweek or Saturday, haven't you? Haim Ashid, the former head of Israel's Defense Space Directorate, he's made some extraordinary claims about a galactic federation. There's lots of things that he said. He says Donald Trump is aware of this. The aliens don't want the public to know, so the aliens say we're not ready. There's an underground base in the depths of Mars. American astronauts and alien representatives. Yeah. The reason why the government can't tell us because it's likely to create mass hysteria, according to HG. Yeah. Humanity needs to develop and reach a stage where we all understand in general what space and spaceships are.
But it's boring news, though.
Don't talk over me. Oh, please let me finish off. Now the key thing that I found in all this, that he's writing a book, and if you want to know more, you'll have to buy his book. Now,
there's
I
actually a
think
bit more to it than that. We
sure.
we have covered it yesterday. Apparently, his
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
family's released a press release saying the guy's got dementia and he reads a lot of UFO books and believes what's in the books. So you can't believe anything he
Yeah.
says. They put out a press release. Scott Brando put it
Yes,
up.
I know. I was about to get to that actually, but anyway, he's at that funny age in the 80s where you can kind of lose the plot completely. But there's still some people out there, and this is important, that think there's really something to this. Yeah, or they think it's half truths mixed in with, the usual kind of misinformation mixed in with good information. I don't see anything to it at all. I think it should be taken with a humongous pinch of salt. And I don't see any point in hanging around with this anymore.
I think Rojas is onto it. He said he's been heavily reading Philip Corso's book Day After Roswell, which we know is a load of BS. The whole thing about our technology comes from UFO crash, which we know is not true because we can follow the invention timeline of what people are doing.
Well, yeah, I mean, it goes on about transponders, night vision. Oh God, what's it called? Optics, where you shine the light on one end and it glows on the other. Fiber optics.
Yeah.
Now, all those things were under development before 1947. So, I mean, that's not giving humans enough credit, is it?
Did he mention the Federation in his book, though? I think he might have done. There was an agreement. Corso in his book, did he mention about the Federation and agreement with the Earthlings?
Not to my knowledge. I've never read his book because I just know it's nonsense.
Nor have I.
But, yeah, I mean, you can pick up a second-hand copy for £5 now, so I suppose maybe it's worth picking the book up for that price. Just don't believe it all, for God's sake. The only thing with Corso is that he was in a position to know a lot of stuff, No question about that. So there could be elements of truth mixed in his book, and of course, maybe what he knew would only fill 2 pages, 5 pages, 10 pages. So it had to be padded out. And if there was some truth in the book, then that's a shame. But because now it's difficult. I mean, you need a surgeon's knife, a scalpel, to remove the bullshit and to get through to the bits that could be credible.
Well, we've had other reports saying there was a second crash location where they did reclaim some bodies. I'm not sure if that's in the book either, but that's possible truth there. But the rest of it's bunk. Whether he's trying to be disinformation or not, I don't know. Or he's just a nut job, or he's just trying to make money. It's either those 3 things, right? But this Israeli guy is clearly a nut job from dementia, right? Yeah. And he's mixing in fantasy with reality, and of course all the young gun people.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much reality is there at all in his claims, Paul. I can't see anything that could border on the truth, to be honest.
But all these people that follow the fraud channels, they'll be sucking it up like crazy, probably.
Yeah, I know.
Cover up. But then again, if you listen to Earl Grey's story that we did, episode, his mum, after watching Star Wars, said it's probably really like that out there with the aliens fighting each other. So who knows?
Could well be.
But
it could well be.
But that doesn't sound like a galactic federation. That sounds like a galactic fight. Federation normally work together, right? So obviously it's not working together. Fighting over resources of the universe, obviously. Energy. Everybody wants energy. And
we're using this all up.
That's probably why they're trying to tell us to stop our behaviour, because they're not interested in fossil fuels. They're beyond that stage. They're after something else. But yeah. Is that the only news that you want to bring forward on that?
That's all that's come up this week, really. After all the drama of last week, so that's the only thing. Anyway, to me, it was non-news, but I guess it had to be mentioned. So, if you like, you can move on to the Scott Santa story.
There was something extra with Tim McMillan's story, though, wasn't there? Everybody's attacking Tim, but it clearly says in his article that it's a Mylar balloon, right? But apparently, there's more. Not a lot of people realise that it wasn't an iPhone snapshot in the cockpit, but it was actually a snapshot of a photo. And of course, you got people like Goofon that never bothers listening into the facts, and he's this mouthing off things and incorrect stuff and misleading people even more, which is a bit very sad indeed. And of course, now he's attacking everybody that's actually speaking the truth, like Rojas. He said that the guy.
Yeah, I mean that's how Goofon does, anyways. Attack people. So there we go. Like,
and he's wrong. He's wrong every time, though. He's wrong every time. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. At least he's got 100% record.
Yeah.
There was something else about another photograph or something as well about the Q1 surrounded by a sphere or something. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. There's a lot of talk on Twitter about stupid things and online.
Yeah.
But apparently they have got a photograph of this thing coming out the water or something, haven't they? And
I don't think they actually observed it coming out of the water and going vertically straight up, and then the picture was taken. And again, now this picture of the triangle again is a mobile phone photograph taken through the cockpit. I don't know if you're aware of that.
That one's taken through the cockpit. So they're allowed phones in the cockpit, are they?
Well, they must be, obviously. After us arguing last week that, whether they can or not, it seems that they can.
Unless it's a commercial pilot or private pilot, they can, because it's their plane.
Yeah, but no, it was a military. It was an F-18 again, Paul.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought the iPhones and all that would be banned from the cockpit myself, because it's a distraction, like in the car, right?
You'd certainly think so.
Yeah.
Unless there's misinformation again that we're hearing, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But the people are optimistic that this photo will surface at some stage, because, well, they may as well. It's going to look bad if we don't release it now. But we'll see. Apparently, that photograph is still classified, and it's in the UAP task force files.
Yeah. Just see.
Still, even a standalone photograph on its own doesn't mean that much. You've got to have the anecdotal evidence with it and the pilot testimony.
Yeah.
And
but in a lot of those jets, so there's somebody sitting in the back anyway, isn't there? I mean, you've got the pilot in the front, so the person who's sitting behind, he can take a picture with his phone or something, couldn't he?
Well, yeah, of course he could. Yeah, he's the weapons technician at the back.
Yeah, and he's not going to use his weapons all the while, is he?
No.
He's only just like just sitting in a seat.
Yeah. Of course, he's observing.
Yeah.
He has to be aware all of the time.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have thought he'd be spending too much time playing games on his mobile phone.
No. But he's not in control of the plane, is he? So it's the pilot's doing that.
So we got this article from Scott Santa next up, Pollux.
It's a story he shared on Facebook, and I seen it through a friend of a friend.
So who is Scott?
Scott Santa. I don't know much about the guy. All I do know is his story and the fact that I did talk to him, and he said that the only place he shared it publicly is on Ryan Sprague Somewhere in the Skies podcast. So I didn't want to go trawling looking for that, because then we'd have to use his. So I just thought the story's good enough on its own, and it's a hell of a story as well. Go on, you might as well, Jenny.
Who we got on the side chat? Plex and Tommy so far. Thanks for joining us.
Tommy here? Oh,
Yeah,
hi, Tommy.
Tommy's there.
Era 51, no doubt is working or sleeping. Susan,
Yeah,
I don't
pop
know
on,
where she's got to lately. And who's the other regular ones we used to have? Wesley, I haven't seen him around for a while, but I see he does his own. Yeah, he does his own streaming on Twitch, I've noticed, gaming or something. And
okay, so he's on Twitch. He's on Twitch then.
And we had some couple of new people on recently, haven't we? And haven't seen them today. So, so I'm not sure where they're coming from. Whether they're coming from YouTube or BitChute, because you can see BitChute. It's possible we might reach 800 subs by Christmas. The way it's been going up, so it's all good. Cool. All good. YouTube is even started going up again. So maybe they've released something finally. Okay, let's see what it says.
Sky stars everywhere.
Hang on.
We paid for our tickets and drove.
Whoa, what was that?
In August 1974. Date not recalled. A friend of mine, Mike pseudonym. I think, but I'm not sure, I was with another person, and I had nothing going on, and decided to go to the drive-in movies. It was a beautiful summer evening, not a cloud in the sky, stars everywhere. We paid for our tickets and drove in and parked in the back, of course, hoping to find a car full of ladies. Not quite a full house, but there was a gang of kids playing at the playground just under, and in front of the screen, and everyone was settled in, and ready to watch a couple of movies. A normal and mundane a night if ever there was one. As we got some food and drinks and started to watch the cartoons, I could just make out something approaching the screen from behind and above. And just like that, a huge, and I do mean huge, chevron came into view over top and above the screen. It dwarfed the parking area. I asked Mike if he could see it, and yes, what the hell is that, was the reply. Its speed of advance was incredibly slow. Best guess is approximately 10 to 15 miles per hour. It seemed to float rather than fly. It had no lights. It was so black, it blotted out the stars in the sky, and was utterly silent. Mike and I each got out of the car and stared at this thing. Again, the size of this craft, for want of a better term, was enormous from wing to wing. It overlapped the drive-in enclosure. In fact, it dwarfed it. The proverbial 3 to 4 football fields. It proceeded in a straight line right over top of the first row of cars. By now I could see that almost everyone was out of their vehicles and pointing and looking around, quite possibly to make sure everyone else was seeing the same thing. As it continued on, not quite immediately over my head, all of the lights in the drive-in went out. The movie stopped, the concession stand went black. I noticed that several people were trying to start their cars, and leave. None of the cars would start. As difficult as this is to explain, I was aware of all of that, but my recollection is that I really never took my eyes off of the object. There wasn't any panic, but I could tell some of the folks were completely terrified, yet zombified, if you will.
That sounds almost similar story to Peter Devonport of UFO Reporting Centre. Remember his story? I think we read out a wee bit of it from a radio show a couple months back. Well, probably a few months back now. 4 months ago.
It's similar to an awful lot of other stories, isn't it? There's an EMF effect here. It's knocked out the electronics. The cars won't start. We've heard that time and time again. There's multiple cases. We actually looked at UFOs and electrical interference on an episode. Oh my God, it was some months back now. And there's literally hundreds of cases where this happens. Only when the UFO object, UAP, call it what you want, is in close proximity to the vehicles. And he did say it was extremely low down. So obviously it was close enough to cause this interference. Unbelievable. It must have been so surreal to see something like that. 3 to 4 football fields in size. Wow.
What year was that again?
Scroll to the top, he did say.
Yeah, 1974. So it was way before Phoenix Lights, and although that does sound about the time of Peter. Peter Devonport was around that time, I think.
Okay, and then you had Hudson Valley in the 80s, early 80s, so it predated all of them. So whatever that technology was, it's 56 years old now, and there's still no sign of it. You know, that's if you want to try and suggest that it's man-made tech. Doesn't sound like it, does it?
But you never know. It's quite a few years after 47. Still, it could be.
Why 47?
Well, they
why
could
47?
Because they had plenty of years to maybe fix a ship up or repair it or get it working or figure it out.
Oh, so you're saying that you're basically in 47, one dead crash and have reversed engineered it. I think that's highly unlikely. I think it'd be like giving Neanderthal man a smartphone. He wouldn't have a chance.
Yeah, but we just don't know. We're still guessing.
No, I think the best guess, Occam's razor, it's somebody else's tech. I mean, imagine giving Christopher Columbus a nuclear submarine, saying, "Hey, mate, listen, you can have that one, but you've got to make us another two." You wouldn't know where to start, would he? Not a hope in hell. Anyway, that's my argument. But anyway, let's get on with the story.
Will. Mike and I weren't speaking by this time. At this juncture I felt as if I was the only one there, though I wasn't. So my eyes and extreme focus was staring at this thing as it continued on its way. By the time it made it right over top of us, I could feel that something wasn't quite right. I could see and actually feel that the air around us was shimmering, as it were, like you see on top of asphalt or cement on a hot day. The air felt heavy, and we both felt that it was difficult to move. My ears popped. Even though it was completely silent around us, I could hear Mike, but we could not hear anything else, like any of the other people talking or yelling. Nothing. The shimmering air had the effect of making one feel as if you were walking underwater, if you will. Now known as the OZ effect. I felt that if I could have reached down and picked up a larger piece of the gravel, I could have thrown it and hit this thing. That's how close it appeared. I was struck again by the complete and utter silence around us. Everyone seemed to be in a funk and just standing around looking at this thing. It never veered or changed direction and hovered over top of the park for what seemed like 10 minutes. I cannot be sure of the length of time though. It was traveling from the west and proceeding in an easterly direction. When it cleared the vacant property, a vast field of undeveloped real estate, behind the drive-in, the OZ effect disappeared, and you could feel as if a weight had been lifted off of you. All of the lights flicked back on, and the movie started again. Just like that, like a switch had been flipped.
Did we pause it?
Yeah, that's fine. So we've heard this before, like difficulty, like you're wading through water. Everything is slowed down. Time slows down. It's kind of eerie. It's that we're not in Kansas anymore. Feeling. Jim Peniston, the one who approached the craft at Rendlesham, he described pretty much the same feeling. Confusion is another factor as well, and it's calling that the OZ effect. It's the Oz effect, which Jenny Randalls from the UK coined that phrase.
Mm-hmm. Still could be interdimensional thing where you actually seen it in another universe, and that's why the air's thick, because you're passing through a membrane, right?
Yeah, I'm very open to that one.
Until you're fully through the membrane, and then it frees up again. The merging of universities, a fabric edge sort of thing. Anyway, carry on.
Flipped. I continued to watch this object until it disappeared from my view in the distance. It never changed course and flew or floated in a straight line. It was incredible. Once I lost sight of it, I got back in my car almost robotic-like, and completely forgot all about what I just witnessed. Mike and I did not speak to each other about it ever. We just carried on with the movie, as if nothing happened. At least, this is my recollection. Apparently, so did everyone else in the park. No one, I mean nobody, was running around asking questions, or doing anything but watching the movie. I recall having to go to the bathroom sometime afterwards, and as usual, there is a bit of a line to get in. No one talked about it, no one said a word about what just happened. When the movie was over, I don't remember leaving, or what happened afterwards. That is a complete blank. But obviously I dropped Mike off, and went home completely forgetting what just happened. I have no idea what time I got home that night, or even what time we left, another complete blank. I never told my brother, or my parents. In fact, I have a bit of black hole in memory from that point on until some years later I was in a bookstore, and happened upon a paperback edition of Edward Ruppelt's The Report on Unidentified Flying Objects, and bang! The experience flooded upon me as if a gate had been opened. I had to sit down and absorb it as I was almost overwhelmed by it. I had lost contact with Mike by then, and was unable to verify with him. But in my mind's eye it's as clear as the day is long. I have my suspicions about missing time, and after years of reflection that possibly something other than a sea sighting happened, but have never explored that aspect. In fact, I highly suspect that something else may have happened to me personally, maybe everyone else in the park as well. I do not know, I cannot recall, but there is that gut instinct that continuously nags at me that there was something, some further interaction, something I was supposed to do that is the itch that has never gone away. I was, without question, confronted with something that was distinctly impossible, but it happened as I described, despite the fantastic scenario that was manifested. I now no longer have the luxury of disbelief. It has been suggested to me to put an ad in the local paper to see if there was anyone else that had happened to recall that. After mulling that option over, I decided it would not be such a great idea. I can only imagine the responses I may get. But I'm okay with that at this point. Like I stated previously, I now no longer have the luxury of disbelief, nor do I need validation from anyone. Like the James Fox movie, I know what I saw. I just don't know what it did to me, if anything. A most confusing event for which I wish there was an explanation. Scott Santa.
Yeah. I do believe that at some stage another woman who was unrelated came forward about the case and then backed off quite quickly.
Plus she got scared of talking.
Maybe she just changed her mind. Yeah, I'm not saying anybody shut her up or anything like that, but yeah, I do seem to recall that in the chat. I don't know. It seemed to alter everything, didn't it? Time, reality. I mean, surely something that big, that low, should have caused like an international incident, if you like. But no, nothing.
Yeah, but a massive amount of people seeing it. Do you know?
Yeah. Well, a whole car park full of people, and there must have been people outside of the car park that seen it as well, if it was traveling that low. But I don't know. Maybe it was only there for a few seconds and then kind of vanished in a flash of light. I just don't know. It's one of those difficult ones where it just challenges reality and logical thinking.
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of it. But all I feel is that Scott Santa is sincere.
Mm-hmm. So we can close that tab down now.
Yeah. One hell of a experience, though, isn't it? I mean, it makes my sighting pale into insignificance, really. Yeah, it's almost like his memory was erased on a temporary basis.
Mm-hmm.
It was still there. It was like just beneath the surface, and it just took that particular book and something you read in those chapters for it all to come, for the floodgates to open again. It just shows that there's something so complicated that I don't think we'll ever understand it, you know. I really don't. As much as I'd like to put it into, you know, black and white terms, I just don't think that's feasible for our understanding of the universe as it stands at the moment. Fantastic story, though. Yeah. So I don't know. Do you want to move on to next?
You want to talk about your alien?
Oh, why not?
So Robert's got Pinky. Well, he's a grey. Well, greeny.
Yeah.
What colour is it?
It's grey, but what you can't see there, off to the left-hand side, there's like a kind of a figure of an alien that's like glass with electrical wiring running through that changes colour, and it just happened to be on purple when I took the picture, so that's the reflection you can see down the left side of the head there. That isn't actually colour, and I can tell you now, those photos do this no justice whatsoever. It's 2 foot tall. I had to get it from Poland. And the funny thing is about this, I ordered it for Christmas 2019. I ordered it in October 2019, right? And it came in time for Christmas. Unfortunately, in time for Christmas 2020. It took over 12 months to get to me because the guy.
Plastic?
No, it's resin. It's a resin sculpture. With yeah,
so it's heavy then.
It's quite heavy, yeah, and it's 2 feet. It's huge. It's like the elephant in the room, or should I say, the alien in the room. That you can actually see the light there off to the left-hand side in that picture.
Yeah.
So anyway, if that wasn't a disaster waiting 13 months for it or 14 months for it, it came just as a resin statue. I'd forgot on checkout to tick that I wanted it painted. So then I had to find a local guy to do the acrylic painting for me, because that's the type of paint they use on resin. It's acrylic paint. So I thought, oh, geez. So I went on the internet and I found this place in Gavren, which is around 14 miles from where I live. And the guy came, he picked it up, and he sent me a few pictures as he was painting it and saying, is this okay with you? I said, looks fantastic. If you like, you know, go ahead and take a little bit of poetic license and do what you need to do. So eventually he brought it back. Okay. And he says, can you have a look at it first? I says, yeah, but I'm sure I'll be happy. So I took it in and I looked at it, and I was more than happy. You see the blue speckles in the eyes, that's really cool. But it really doesn't, the photo doesn't do it justice at all, you know.
Yeah, done a good job.
So anyway, I went to the front door again, said I'm really happy, and I went to pay him, and this guy wanted to talk. Oh, okay. He said, "Are they the ones from the Roswell crash?" That's what he said to me, and I said, "Oh, okay. God, everyone's heard of Roswell, haven't they?" And I said, "Yes. Very similar beings were described as this one." And then he said something that was a little bit unusual. He said, "It's female, isn't it?" I didn't have an answer, and he said, "It is female." It is, yeah. I really don't know.
I don't know how you can tell.
And yeah, I was about to say they're never generally described with genitalia of any sort. He jumped in and he said, "Listen, something unusual happened." I says, "Okay, tell me." He said, "While I was painting it and it started to come into life," he said, "tears just started running down my face. It was uncontrollable." And I says, "Whoa, okay." And he said, "It's never happened before." I thought, wow. Was this some kind of contact? Mate, I don't know, but I can tell you now, yeah? That guy didn't want to part with that.
He'd have to get one of his own.
Yeah.
Not if it takes 10 years to get it.
Well,
That's a good while.
Well, it was 13, 14 months. Yeah, but what happened, the guy had actually split, you know, the webbing between your thumb and your finger, your forefinger. He'd had an accident while he was sculpting, and it had cut through the tendon there, you see. And he sent me the pictures
All right.
of the injury, and it was pretty horrific. So that knocked he couldn't work for 6-8 months.
What kind of resin is it?
I don't know what type of resin it is, Paul, but it's pretty solid, and the surface is quite porous, you know. So I'd imagine it would take the paint really well. But he's done a wonderful job, and I have to emphasise again that.
Are we now allowed to know the price tag?
Yes, for the resin statue, I paid £260 for the acrylic, but it's a hell of a piece in the house, you know. The acrylic painting, the guy charged me £60, and I gave him 80 because he was crying almost. Yeah,
you did tell him you're on a UFO channel, didn't you?
No, I didn't. No, I've actually felt like contacting him since and asking him if anything else has happened, because I don't know. I think Earl might be interested in that story. He was proper emotional at that door, you know. And the way he explained to me how the tears started flooding down his face, and it never happened before. He was, I don't know. Make of it what you like.
Yeah, I think the UFO field's a bit nuts at the moment, and especially those in America because of the left and right politics over there. So, yeah.
I don't know what that's got to do with that.
Well, everybody's crazy lately over that.
UFO field has always been crazy anyway, Paul.
The people are more emotional at the moment, I think. They're a bit snappy, I find. A lot of people are a bit more snappier than normal.
Yeah. I found that last night. You know, I posted, I found some pictures. You know, the one with Jesse Marcel holding up the weather balloon debris. Well, someone had coloured them, and they'd done a fantastic job, so I posted them on a group, and a couple of people were turning around and saying, "So what?" And I thought, Jesus Christ, man. Because Scott was going to pack in that group because lack of participation. But if people are going to respond to a post like that, people are going to be afraid to post anyway. In the end, a lot of people appreciated the photos. Yeah, you get a couple of prickly people like that. Do you know what I mean? But I find they've always been in the UFO field anyway.
Yeah, this is what the problem is, see, when people see things like that and then they see something happen, they don't want to come forward, do they?
No.
Because of what's going to happen to them.
Yeah, they're just going to get shot at.
So this was taken on your Nikon P1000, was it?
No, that was taken on the Nikon PL840. Yeah, so it's an inferior camera to the P1000, which I didn't want to unpack just for the sake of one photograph, you know.
P1000. Look at the megapixels you would have got though. Isn't it 8K? Yeah, is it 8K that one? Now it must be up there.
Yeah. Well, it's 18-month-old technology now.
You say this is inferior, but I suppose it's a wee bit out of focus here. Maybe you moved it slightly. I think it's slightly out there, but it's still better than the Spudcam UFO videos that we get.
Oh yeah,
looks like skin, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't look like skin.
But I think that might be the resin rather than the paint. But it looks like he's painted the cracks black or something, or a different shade. So he's probably put a lot of time on it.
Oh, definitely. He had it about a week.
Mm.
Well, he's done that well in a week.
Mm. Yeah, he needs to paint my TR3B model that I'm still yet to get around to doing. I got the acrylic paint, but I didn't get the oil paints vanished. Someone got those for Christmas. Someone stole it on the way here, I think, or the Chinese didn't send it at all. So yeah, I'm going to have to see if I can paint it with the acrylic tubes. They're only little tubes too, so I'm not too sure how well it's going to go. But yeah, I got all the I got the model set up, but I had to pack it away because the sister come. You know how you set up stuff on the table ready just to get motivated to paint something, and then you have to pack it away, and then you forget about it, and then you got to unpack it again. But I'll get round to it. Maybe this winter. I don't know. I'll see. Yeah, but that's pretty good. It looks different near the lighting though. Let's have a look at that one. This one looks definitely grey, and the other one looks more green. Just by the lighting.
Yeah, you see that light to your left constantly changes colour, which is affecting. I should have turned it off before I took the photo. Stupid me.
See that one? It looks a bit clearer. That one there. Is that's probably closer to the colour. You can see the veins and the head that he's painted on.
Right.
I suppose it does kind of look like a female. This one.
I don't know. What he was trying to tell me is he had a feeling of deep sorrow to this thing while he was painting, and it was coming to life. You know.
Yeah.
The kind of sense of vulnerability, and don't know. Maybe he was thinking of the Roswell crash and those aliens stranded, maybe light years from Earth, from their own planet. Sorry, you know, I don't know what was going through his head for him to.
See, now you could do some. If you didn't tell us, you could have done some fakes, like you could have done that in the window and say aliens looking at me through that window. Here, so you could have done a third phase of the moon. I was sent this and a goof on, and have goof on talk about it. Wow, that's really incredible. That looks so lifelike.
Oh well, I mean, you know, if you'd done something like that, they'd have to employ the Dream Team.
Yeah, you could make a really good. I suppose there wouldn't be too many of these models out there. Actually, this particular one, everyone's got that K-Mart one. The K-Boy.
Well, that would be different now, because that's a different colour to everybody else's, isn't it now?
Yes, of course it is.
That's a unique one.
Yeah, but those models that you got from Jamie Musan, that third phase we're promoting, that was straight out of box from Kmart. That one with the funny head on it. So, and the other ones look like plasticine models, wee bit like this actually. Just shows that it just shows the quality that you could do to fake something. You know, if you had that, like if you framed that in a window, right, and you say, "I just caught this last night as it took off," you'd have a lot of people talking to you. Yeah, just amazing. Anyway. On to the next topic, I guess. Don't want to keep people waiting on the next one.
Okay. Yeah, A Strange Tale at Winter Hill, MiB in England. It happened near the Bolton area, which is about 50 miles northwest of Manchester. I'll give you a link now. There's a research group there called MAPIT. I can't remember what it stands for now. Anyway, never mind.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. I hope I don't have to log in to. Please don't do this to me now.
So I could even take your photograph. I could take your photograph there and turn it into a lifelike pinky, right? I could do exactly the same type of emanation on it, and just
Yeah,
talk.
you like that?
Yeah, and then make a deep fake true alien head.
You should do it for fun.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea, you know. It'd be good on your channel.
Oh, we'll
if I get enough
subs.
time. I could easy do it actually. But anyway, maybe a project in the future.
Pinky will be gone then.
You mean scale it down? No, I'll probably keep Pinky. Don't want it too lifelike because it'll sort of scare people. Maybe especially people that want to come. They've been Cont-Ts and maybe a wee bit scared.
You could colour him, couldn't you? You would colour him or something.
I don't know, but some people.
You could colour him pink if you wanted to.
A lot of Cont-Ts, emotional when they see alien grey, right? So that's why I made it pink here because it's more human.
Yeah, well, I said you could make him pink. Take a picture of this one and make it pink.
Yeah, but it'll be a lot bigger. That's what I'm saying. You can make like a big talking alien head, for special occasions, right? When you want to do presentations. What would you call him though? Goof on. No, that's a stupid name, isn't it?
Yes.
You posting a link?
Yeah.
Yeah, do it. Why not? Yeah, of course. If I had plenty of time in the day, I need downtime too, else I go mental. If only we didn't need sleep. We waste most 1/3 of our life sleeping. Yeah, it's not needs to be like what's the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where that guy's got 2 heads and one can sleep while the other one's talking, then switch over.
Yeah, I remember that.
It'd be like the Borg, 2 hours and you got a full recharge. That'd be ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so up over to a new link. I don't see it popping up yet. Did you hit enter? A link.
Yeah, it's
on there.
It's above what Plex said.
All right. Yeah, I see it now.
I still can't change that name, by the way.
Let's see if I can copy it then.
Got to wait another month.
I'll stick it on a new tab. Was it the right? Was it not going? What found? Why not? Winter Hill. Yeah, it didn't work. Why is that? I don't know. Try again. You sure I got the link right?
But Paul, there's no www dot in my URL.
Yes, there is on the screen here. It is. Anyway, it's loaded, I think.
Good.
Probably need to scale it down though. What have we got here? Restricted, revised edition. Oh, it's got a lot of small print on it. Whoa!
Yeah, I know it has, but if we read it out, it's not too much of a problem, is it? And
Okay,
I thought
see if I can scale it up a wee bit.
Sure. Yeah, there you go.
Actually, 100% works better. Actually, even though it messes up the graphics a wee bit. It's got this crap over the side. That's the problem. Ah, so you want me to read it out? Okay, here we go. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, see what you make of this.
On Saturday, November 13th,
No,
1999,
no.
I received a telephone call from a man
That's where I
calling
told it
himself
to.
Stuart Murphy. His message was recorded on my telephone answering machine. This message...
Up the top we want. What's it doing? It stopped.
You don't need that bit.
It's not letting me select the page, that's the problem. It's done something to the page so you can't select it.
Well, I had no problem selecting the text. Yep, I can do it now. No problem at all.
It's come up with this funny logo, look. Something funny with the page. Something's loaded, a script of some kind.
Yeah, well, it's fine for me. I can select, no problem. I tried that before, decided to include it, because if you can't select it, it's no good, is it?
I can't select it. Not secure. Ed block.
Flex is saying you're on the wrong page.
Am I?
He says it's not Star Jelly.
On the wrong page.
It's not.
Go
back one. So go back one.
See,
that's it, he's got it now.
Yeah.
Paul, just triple click on that paragraph. And it'll automatically select it all for
knowledgeable
you.
About investigation and research techniques and the UFOs. Investigation you're about to read could possibly be a hoax perpetrated by investigators and people knowledgeable about investigation and research techniques and the UFO subject. A huge amount of MAPIT resources were plowed into this investigation. The case details are as follows. On Saturday, November 13th, 1999. I received a telephone call from a man calling himself Stuart Murphy. His message was recorded on my telephone answering machine. This message is as follows. This is Stuart Murphy here. I live on the corner of Winter Hill, and something is in the sky. I'm sure myself here. I wondered if you can investigate or something. Oh Jesus. Due to the possible urgency, I contacted Stuart by the telephone number that was obtained from caller display. The time was now 12:51 a.m. on Sunday, November 14th, 1999. A short conversation with Stuart took place. He mentioned that he worked on Andrew's farm, which is about 5 or 6 minutes away from his home. He had been working late at the farm on Saturday, November 13th, 1999, when suddenly he heard a strange droning sound. He got up and looked out of the farmhouse window to see a large bright light hovering over the farm and nearby field. He described how he felt terrified and threatened. The light then moved over towards the cattle. It hung in the air for a few minutes. The cattle were darting around trying to get away from this thing. After a short time it moved off into the distance. Mr. Murphy was worried for the cattle and quickly ran out to check them, keeping one eye on the distant object. No sooner had he reached the field he noticed the strange object turn and head back towards him. He ran as fast as he could back to the farmhouse. He remembered finding himself running for his life as the object was directly above. He looked, but all he could see was bright light. It seemed to be only feet from him, Stuart claimed. He reached the farmhouse just in time to see the object lift slightly and stop over the field yet again. Whilst the object hung over the farm, Stuart had contacted the police, who apparently did not take the incident seriously and told Stuart to contact us. At that time, Greater Manchester Police had details of our organisation on file in regards to previous investigations that had received a police involvement. Stuart immediately contacted our head office and left a message. He explained that he was talking to us on a mobile telephone, which is owned by the farmer, and that he had worked at this particular farm for about 15 years. I told Stuart that it was important to obtain all the details, and that it's best to make an arrangement with him so to discuss the incident in more detail. Stuart agreed to contact us again and arrange a meeting. He said that he had a lot of work to do over the next few days, but that he would contact me. His conversation was cut short due to the farmer being in the vicinity and Stuart not wanting the farmer to know that he had contacted us. Note: Most of the conversation with Stuart entailed calming him down and telling him to take his time talking. Stuart had a strong Irish accent, and I could not understand him when he talked too fast. There were many cursing words, which is an expected reaction due to the incident. Mr. Paul Rooks and Teresa O'Neill, qualified psychologists, listened to the telephone message of Stuart's, and both commented on the stress in his voice. I did not expect to hear from Stuart until Wednesday, November 17th, however. He telephoned me on Sunday, November 14th at approximately 10:30 p.m. Once again, Stuart was very upset, and it took considerable time to calm him down, and to get him to take his time talking. He explained that 3 official-looking gentlemen dressed in suits claiming to be from the MAFF, Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Food, had visited the farm during Sunday afternoon, and had first talked with the farm owner and apparently threatened him that the farm may be closed if he was not to cooperate. They then took Stuart aside and told him that he was not to say anything to anyone. At this point, Stuart did not know when he would talk with me. Stuart ended the call quickly by saying, "I need to go, the farm owner coming." The investigation. On Monday, November 15th, 1999, I visited the area at 6:30 a.m. in an attempt to locate the farm and Stuart. By 9:00 a.m. I had still not located the farm, so I headed back to Manchester and planned another trip. At 10:15 p.m. that night, I telephoned the farm and talked to the farm owner. I asked the farmer if I could talk to Stuart Murphy. The farmer asked who I was, to which I replied, "I am a friend of Stuart's." The farmer then told me that Stuart has gone away for a few days. I then asked, "Was Mr. Murphy collected this morning by the MAFF?" The farmer paused. Then said, "I have been instructed not to comment. Please do not ring here again." The phone went dead. Once again, the following day, I was unsuccessful in locating the farm. I eventually attended Horwich Police.
What do you think of this so far, then? You know, if it's a hoax, you know, why on earth would the farmer and the farm hand both be in on it? And what would they have to gain from it? I don't see any profit in this. It's a strange story. So these people claim to be from, was it again, the Farming and Fisheries Board, whatever it's called again. I've heard of those guys. They often turn up in certain areas to see if you've been catching undersized fish and stuff like that, you know. And they dish out huge fines, but what on earth would they be doing? Telling people to shut up over a UFO event? Now, I'd suggest that if this is a real event and this has happened, they have nothing to do with the fisheries. They were masquerading as those people. I don't get it. It's confusing.
Men in Black.
Men in Black. Yeah. Well, this is basically what it is. It's a Men in Black story. Yeah, go on, carry on a little bit.
Attended Horwich Police Station with strange story in hand. I talked WPC Trudy Robertson. She said that she had taken on board what I had told her, and was most helpful regarding the search for the farm. She looked at her sheet of farm names, but was unsuccessful in locating it. She had never heard of Andrew's Farm, however. She told me that some farms may be listed under Lancashire rather than Greater Manchester, thus it would be best to contact Adlington Police Station to ask them to look at their list of farms. I did inform her that if the case be authentic, then 3 crimes had been committed. 1. Physical threatening. 2. Abduction. 3. Impersonation of an MAFF official. WPC Trudy Robertson, badge number 6513, told me that no crime had been reported, and that she could not do a trace on the mobile telephone number without a crime first being reported, nor could I file a missing persons report, because I was not a relative. She said she would continue to look for the farm and ask other officers, and if she finds anything of interest, she would contact me. I thanked her for helping and left for Adlington Police Station. When I arrived at Adlington Police Station, it was closed.
I'll just be one moment.
This particular police station is not often used and simply looks like a converted house. I left with a plan to contact them at a later date. By all accounts, I could find no references to the farm. I did, however, locate a hill by the same name. It was then that I noticed a dark blue-colored Jeep which was very close behind me. I purposely turned into a private road leading to a small coffee shop, and the Jeep continued to follow. I pulled into a small car park area, and the Jeep pulled up right behind, blocking me in. I got out expecting some type of confrontation with the driver. The gentleman was approximately 35 years of age, and was dressed in blue jeans, jumper, and wearing a light-colored cap. He asked me what I was doing up near the farms and why I was looking around. I simply told him I was looking for a farm a friend works at. He asked where I was from, but I told him no more, and he got back in his Jeep and drove off. I turned around and headed off towards George Lane, but first stopping at a mobile snack bar known as the Sizzling Grill. Whilst having a coffee, I could not help think that something suspicious was going on. I got back in my car and continued my search. At the top of George Lane, I turned right onto Matchmore Lane and followed it for about 2 miles. If I had carried straight on, I would have ended up at the quarry, which is still very much active with workers. If I had turned left, I would have come to a small forest with a signpost at the corner. The sign gives mention to the Bolton Metropolitan Council Trees and Woodlands section, along with a telephone number of 012045222311. Eventually, following George Lane, I came to Old Hart's farm. Obviously, not the right one, as it was not a cattle farm. A few hours had passed and I had still not located the farm. This was beginning to frustrate me. I eventually headed back to Manchester to conduct some research and plan yet another visit. On Tuesday, November 16, 1999, at approximately 10:00 p.m. the farmer was contacted again and gave his name. With this new information, I decided to conduct a search for a farm with the same name as the owner. Yes, a long shot, but I had nothing else to go on at the time. Tim Matthews, a fellow investigator, had conducted several telephone calls and had contacted the MAFF in response to the incident. He was told that there are people that visit farms who impersonate MAFF agents. He eventually received a return call from a director at the MAFF who told him that they knew nothing of the alleged abduction and that they do not even operate on Sundays. Note: the mention regarding people impersonating the MAFF and visiting farms is very interesting and could have been information that was accidentally given. I can find no reference to any public mention regarding impersonations of MAFF agents. This I found unusual. Another investigator, Deborah Newton, managed to obtain a second version of the electoral register and had been in touch with several farms, local vets, Bolton Council, and the cattle market at Horwich. The cattle market director had informed Deborah that no cattle had been received from the Horwich area. On Sunday, November 21, 1999, I visited the location once again in a final attempt to locate the farm or the whereabouts of Mr. Stuart Murphy. One farmer told me that Andrew's farm was on the corner of Winter Hill and through Belmont, on the other side of Winter Hill. This was later confirmed by Deborah Newton, who contacted me via telephone. She had contacted yet another farm, and the farmer there claimed to know of an Irish gentleman by the name of Stuart Murphy, a cattle hand that works in the area, but he could not tell me where he worked as he was not sure. I was also told that the corner of Winter Hill is near the Talkholes area near Chorley. I headed in that direction. As I turned a corner, I could clearly see a farm. Locals informed me that the farm was indeed called Andrew's Farm. I parked up and went up and knocked on the farmhouse door. A gentleman eventually answered and claimed to know nothing of Stuart. In fact, he was pointing me in the opposite direction. As I was walking back down the farm lane back to my vehicle, a blue Jeep turned into the farm and shot up to the farmhouse. I recognized this straight away. It was the very same driver and Jeep I had seen following me around. Very coincidental? The distance between the first time I saw the Jeep on Coal Pit Road and the second time at the farm is approximately 13 miles. It is also a coincidence that the very same Jeep was to arrive on the farm that I had been looking for almost a week, and out of some very few cattle farms in the area, this was one. Cattle could clearly be seen in the nearby field. I also noticed some dark marking on the grass, as if something had been burnt there. I parked up and watched the farm for about 10 minutes. During this time, 2 other vehicles had arrived at the farm, a light blue Austin Montego estate with roof racks on, and a green Volvo. A few minutes later all 3 vehicles left the farm and went off in different directions. The Jeep was followed and was seen pulling behind some terrace houses 5 minutes away down Bolton Road in Abbey Village. The Jeep seemed to be associated to one of 5 houses, and the middle house was for sale. I remembered that we had been told by the farmer that Stuart Murphy no longer worked at the farm and Murphy and his family were moving back to Ireland. It was decided that I go public with the information, hoping to flush out witnesses, or even Mr. Murphy himself. As the days followed, several investigators complained about having problems with their telephones. Newspapers in Ireland printed an article in hope of finding Murphy to no prevail.
Gee, so what do you make of this? It's like he's just disappeared off the face of the earth, hasn't it?
Seems funny why that Jeep turned up again.
Yeah, that was. Oh yeah, you've got past that bit then. Yeah, that was a bit spooky, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a hell of a coincidence. And I believe that the person that's wrote this article and who done the research, I believe him to be quite grounded, and he's a level-headed guy. And he's confused by all this, and right at the start of the article, he did say this could be a hoax, but I think he's actually given his reasons here why he doesn't think it is. Now, if it isn't a hoax, it's quite disturbing, isn't it, that someone can just overturn your life like that because you've seen something that you shouldn't have seen. Now, I'm not necessarily saying it's aliens, but maybe the military were flying something, over that farmland, using it as a testing area. And he's seen something that he wasn't supposed to see, but how much detail he got of this craft, we really don't know, because they never managed to get hold of him for him to put everything on paper, so it could be dissected properly. All the phone calls, he was in a panic and a strop. Needed calming down. I don't know, but it's a strange tale, isn't it?
Mm.
It looks like they've put tags on the researchers as well, by the sounds of that. Was he maybe paid off to get the hell out of UK and go back to Ireland?
You better watch out.
It's not unlike them to pay sums of money,
Have you got any strange? Have you got any strange white rands outside your house?
Yeah, I mean Philip Glass was pretty famous for it, wasn't he? He offered £10,000 to a witness. I can't remember now. It was somewhere in the south of the United States, and the witness totally withdrew his story. And not only that, there was land and area you see in the crops, and it was actually Alan Hynek that was investigating that case, and he went back the next day to take photographs of the landing area and to get a second interview with the witness. The witness said he no longer wanted to talk about it. The field had been completely cut down, destroying the evidence. So Hynek talks to one of the neighbours of this farmer, and he turned around and says, well, £10,000 is a lot of money, isn't it? Philip Class, that was. And of course, he offered £10,000 to one of the witnesses to, 1975 abduction, Travis Walton. Now, whether the story is true or not, that almost seems to be a fact that he did offer that money. And there's other cases where, and it's always the same amount as well. It was always $10,000, not pounds, actually. Interesting. Sometimes it's better to buy a witness off than intimidate one. But what did he see? Who knows? We'll never know now.
Yeah, but would they silence him forever? Because there might be somebody come in with a bigger bit of money to get you to talk.
I don't think there's too many people in ufology with that kind of money to throw about, because you could be wasting your money entirely, couldn't you? The only person who could bandy that type of money around, who's got the enthusiasm, is someone like a Bigelow. And then with the likes of Bigelow, he probably wouldn't share the information anyway.
Or a Tyler at his peak.
Oh, yeah, but
yeah, he got the money, hadn't he? But,
I think Tyler was all for making money rather than actually parting with money, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. He seemed to give a lot of weight to debunkers, apparently.
Yeah. Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, money talks, doesn't it? In all forms of life.
Yeah, that's what I said. Somebody give a bigger amount of money, they might talk.
Yeah.
But then again, would the first lot come back at him then?
But the only thing I would say there, Charles, is if you were offered that money, it would have come with some kind of reassurance.
Yeah.
You can make anyone sign a non-disclosure agreement, you know.
Yeah.
You don't need to be in the military. I mean, Stephen Greer, for example, now when he takes his students out to see his mates flying drones around, he makes them sign a non-disclosure agreement that they can't talk about what they've seen, blah, blah, blah. And we know that everybody that goes out with Stephen Greer sees a UFO. Every time.
Or flares.
Single time.
Or flares.
And of course, you can buy his CE5 device, I believe now. Actually, yeah.
You mean didn't give it away free?
No, he doesn't give it. It only costs a couple of grand, you know, Paul. It's not bad. Yeah. You know, when I was younger and naive, I actually bought one of Stephen Greer's CE5 contact devices. It was only £2,000. It doubled up as it doubled up as a free energy device as well. The only thing is that when it came, I was a bit surprised it had the charger. I thought the charger was quite unusual for a free energy device. Then anyway, after 2 months, I'm using up all my electric. I managed to get it going, but unfortunately, I think I pressed the wrong button, and it turned into an intergalactic dating device. And all of a sudden, I was getting lewd pictures of alien genitalia from all over the Milky Way. Anyway, I contacted Dr. Stephen Greer and put my complaint in, and he said it was my own fault. I'd pressed the wrong button. So he said, as compensation, I could buy 500 of his crappy DVDs and get one free.
More money.
Yeah. So after emptying my bank account.
His sounds that bad. He's got hundreds of people queuing up to go on his trips.
Yeah, and my electric was on emergency.
You know, Rob, you should be on the Dream Team panel. You know, they'd love that story.
Yeah.
Work alongside Goof on.
No, I tell you what, on the serious note, though, that bastard should be in prison.
Which one? Are we talking about here?
Yeah, you'd have to Hasbro most of them. The prisons would be full.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we're losing track of this damn story.
Yeah. Carry on.
Prevail. Overview. By all accounts, I do not think this case is a hoax due to the following reasons. 1. The original call from Mr. Murphy was not call barred. 2. Mr. Murphy seemed to be genuinely upset and worried. 3. At no time have I been asked to visit any location or go out of our way. In fact, Mr. Murphy commented on leaving this alone, in case I get into trouble. 4. Several coincidences, such as the Jeep, possibly finding the farm, and that it was a cattle farm, and a few problems with telephone lines such as breaks, echo effect, and a timed regular pulse. If this case be true, I have a gentleman called Stuart Murphy that reported a UFO on Saturday, November 13, 1999, and then reporting an unusual red sore and itchy mark on his face the following morning, along with 3 official-looking gentlemen posing as MAFF officials who threatened the farmer of closing his farm, and physically threatened Mr. Murphy regarding the safety of his wife, and wanting him not to mention to anyone about what was seen. Finally, the abduction of Mr. Murphy by these officials at 8:00 a.m. on Monday, November 15, 1999, who took him away for several tests concerning the mark on his face. Also, farm owner informing me that Mr. Murphy no longer works at the farm, and that he was moving back to Ireland. Finally, not forgetting the farm owner has said that he had been advised not to discuss the matter with anyone. All very interesting. I have shelved the investigation for a number of years, hoping more evidence would come to light. Apart from many reports of strange things seen in the sky throughout that area, no information has surfaced. Of course, if you do your research, you'll find it's not the first time men in black have popped up in the area. Earlier reports of a close encounter caused quite a stir when the strange suited men visited a witness' house in hope of obtaining information. I believe the witness had to undergo extensive treatment on her teeth, which had started to mysteriously crumble after seeing a UFO at close proximity. The most enlightening information regarding this case came to me this year, 2010, from a friend who informed me that the incident was fake and hoaxed by other investigators in an attempt to waste my time and effort. This came as no surprise. I have heard of such things happening to other investigators. If the case is in fact a hoax, then it would have had to have been carried out by those involved in the subject to fool me time and time again. Why certain people think it's funny to waste your time and effort, also considering expense, is beyond me. If this incident never took place, some interesting things still came to light, and Winter Hill continues to have numerous UFO activity, and that's a fact. I'd like to take this opportunity in thanking investigators and researchers for their assistance with this case. Chris Clark, Stuart Robinson, Deborah Walker, Carl Walker, Stuart Greenslade, Steve Yarwood, John Slater, and Tim Matthews. Compiled by Steve Mera.
So,
yeah, that's it. It's yeah.
Why was her tooth falling to pieces anyway?
I don't know. I've heard that before. When there's been close contact, you know.
Mm. Well, because of radiation. Well, it wouldn't be radiation, would it?
I don't know. I don't think EMF would cause that, would it?
Well, radiation would affect your body, your skin, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
What's teeth made from?
Enamel. Well, bone.
Yeah, what cracks that? Maybe biting down too hard on your own teeth, I guess, or maybe they had something something in their mouth, some instruments they
were talking about trembling, weren't they? So I don't know, but I have heard it before, you know.
When you have an operation, you actually sign a waiver saying if they put something in your mouth and it chips your teeth or whatever, causes teeth problems after that, they're not liable. So you'll find that when you have an operation.
Or maybe when they used to do the electric treatment on you, they used to put something in your mouth, didn't they? You know, you bite down so hard you break your teeth. I don't know, something.
Oh, well, yeah. Medieval times, they always used them.
But she never said she was into the UFO, though, on a table. She only saw it. So it could be like high frequency sound, maybe can fracture
unless the
teeth,
military
maybe.
were messing about with something you don't know, do you? Sounds a bit barbaric if they were. I just don't know. I mean, I actually tried to contact this group, but it seems to me that they're now defunct because there was no contact number. There was nothing. The web, all attempts at contacting them came up with like a 404
Mm-hmm.
They don't want anybody else to know anything else, not do they?
Well, no. I mean, there's no way. If you had a report to put in, there's no way of contacting anyone now, Charles. You see what I mean? I can only think they've packed in lack of funding, which is normally the problem with most of these UFO groups in the UK. I think Badajoz is still going, isn't it? And that's the only one that's managed to survive. And you
But
don't.
some of the older ones could have died as well, couldn't they? And
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Badajoz went down after the Birdsall brothers passed away. It was never the same after that. And another thing with Badajoz, they're very hesitant about touching anything, any cases that involve the military. It's like they don't want to get on the wrong side, even, of digging into those cases. So I don't know. They just haven't got a good reputation anymore. There's not much left in the UK now. I mean, you still got, I suppose, the person I'd contact would probably be Philip Mantle. Timothy Good, he's got to be, Philip Mantle, he's down to earth enough, you know.
Because he went to the police station and I laugh at you anyway.
Hey, you're not
getting to the police station, mate.
Heseltine, are you, Paul?
Sorry?
You're not getting him mixed up with Gary Heseltine, are you?
No, Philip Mantel, he's the one that promotes that Jason Glees, which I hate because he's a fake. He's a fake UFO analysis guy. That's pushing the book all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know about that, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, there's just nobody to. I mean, who else is there? Nick Pope. He lives in the USA now.
Well, you should know because that's what got me banned from Open Minds. I posted to Philip Mantle promoting Jason Glee's second book, and I said this guy's a wannabe video analysis, and it got me banned.
Jeez, for that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, he's friends with Rojas, wasn't he? They featured his video analysis on some of their cases in the past, and his analysis was absolutely nonsense. You know, the Falcon Lake one, who he did, and his analysis was so wrong.
Stefan Mikulik. Mikulik. Yeah, I don't know. Falcon Lake is another strange single witness case.
Oh no, it wasn't the Falcon Lake, China Lake, I think it's called. China Lake in the USA. Okay. Yeah, I got the wrong name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Because I pulled the cable on my headset and I just wondered if it's got some fault on it. Because I heard a noise, like a noise. Yeah, so on to the next case.
Plex managed to find the guy that done that alien sculptor. The Forbidden Scroll, they are. I found them through Etsy.com. Yeah, he done well to find that so quickly just from the photograph.
He's Plex. He's a super searcher.
Yeah. I'm looking at some of the other designs on the page now, and no, they don't look quite as impressive.
That's that horrible site called Pinterest.
Yeah. Anyways, let's see what else we got.
That's not a site though, isn't this for the old backup? Isn't it backup posted by ecstasy.com? Ah, there we go. So did he do those other ones that Jamie Musan got caught on? He could do, because he's the one that... Because it looked like standing up models. You can see how easy you could fake something, though. Oh, right. So I don't think they're part of his collection, is it? I think it's all various there.
Oh, God, did you hear that?
What was that? Your stomach?
No, mate, that's thunder.
We've got thunder over here.
I hope my computer holds up.
I thought maybe it was going to be your homebrew bubbling in the background.
Jeez, that was one hell of a jumble. The dog's a bit scared now.
What a wuss. Charlie
he's not scared. He's not scared, but he's looking out the window to see what the hell's going on. And his shackles up.
Well, we've had rain all day.
So, yeah, next topic. What was the next one? Water UFOs?
Yeah. We've got a bundle of these, so we'll just fire through them quite quickly and have a comment on the end of each one. Yep. Tommy's laughing there. Okay.
I see Third Faces pushing that they're on Amazon Prime now.
And, I've seen that.
I thought Goofon had got it wrong, because he was blabbing on that he's on Amazon Prime and it's called UFO Files. It's not called UFO Files at all. It's called UFO Reports. He always gets it wrong. So he's featured in their 5-season series, and it's just garbage, really. Do people actually pay money on Amazon Prime to watch that? I guess it would be listed as free, wouldn't it? How does that work, anyway? Do Amazon Prime pay them to
do
a license, and they just play it free? Blake's been pushing it like crazy on the side. Check out Goofon. Go and check out Amazon Prime. We're on there. Every show he's on there promoting on the side chat.
Because that Greer movie is on Prime at the minute. That's free to watch.
And so it should be.
I haven't watched it, though. It's free to watch.
Every time I watch Dr. Greer, if you watch Dr. Greer 20 years ago and watch them today, nothing's changed. Disclosure is coming. Aliens are evil. Or actually, he's the opposite. Aliens are good.
Yeah, he's the opposite, yeah.
Space Brothers. Okay, you got a link. I better stop yakking and copy it then.
Yeah.
Suppose it's going to read from the top. Let's see.
While in the U.S. Navy in the summer of 1986, I was standing lookout aboard the USS Edenton ATS-1, currently decommissioned. The lookout watch stood outside on top the bridge of the ship and was responsible for reporting all contacts seen both in the water and sky. It was around 11 p.m. one clear night at sea, located about 50 miles off the coast of Cape Hatteras, North Carolina. During one of my scans of the night sky, out of nowhere, 4 red circular lights appeared. The lights were hundreds of yards apart from each other and formed a square. At first, I thought it was 4 separate aircraft, such as military helicopters, because the lights were stationary. However, due to the distance from the ship, the lights were too large to be aircraft running lights. There were also no other normal running lights like green and white, which make up the normal outline of an aircraft seen at night. The lights were located about 20 degrees above the horizon and about a mile away from the ship. Again, these 4 red lights were each about the size of a small plane, which were very bright and visible in the night sky. The night sky was also clear, moonlit, and a moderate amount of stars were visible, which also aided in calculating the distance and size of these lights. As stated, when I first saw these lights they were all stationary in the sky and appeared out of nowhere. Once I noticed that these were not normal lights, grouped in a square, and not moving, I called down to the bridge over a salt and pepper line informing the conning officer of a possible UFO sighting. This brought laughter across the wire at first, but I relayed the contact again in a stern but excited voice, which succeeded in getting the bridge officer's attention. After relaying the contact information a second time, the 4 lights, in a flash, darted towards the horizon amazingly fast. The lower 2 lights in the square went first, with the top 2 lights following directly behind them in a curved swooshing motion, and there was no sound. Then all 4 shot straight up into outer space, and out of sight, all within a split second. At this point, I felt very excited and shocked, and was personally praying someone on the bridge had seen what I just saw. Having been an avid watcher of the night sky, seen shooting stars, and a believer in that life has to exist somewhere out there, I become even more excited, because I knew I just saw my first unidentified flying objects. To my amazement, when I returned to the bridge after my watch, I was very pleased to learn that the conning officer and everyone else on the bridge had seen this sighting and logged it into the ship's log as a UFO sighting.
Good.
Next, after a half hour had passed since the sighting, the radiation detection system, gamma Röntgen meter, on the bridge started making a loud clicking sound. At first, no one seemed to know what was making this sound. Then a very loud bell went off notifying us as to what was going on. We were being radiated. When the instrument stopped clicking, it indicated we had taken a hit of 385 Röntgens in the period of about 1 minute. At this point, the captain of the ship was awoken and called to the bridge, as well as the chief in charge of the radiation metering equipment on board ship. The captain was not impressed with an entry of a UFO sighting being placed in the ship's log, and at first, took the Röntgen meter as being defective. However, the chief informed the captain that the meter had been serviced and calibrated the day before, and that other like meters throughout the ship had just gone off indicating the same amount of Röntgens received as the bridge. The captain stated not to log the instance concerning the radiation exposure, and left the bridge. During the rest of my watch duty that night, no officer or enlisted person spoke of what happened, and also acted like nothing happened. This experience, however, was etched into my memory as if it happened yesterday, and I have told this story to only a few people who I thought would believe me. This is also the first time I have documented the events of this night. In conclusion, as an indication of the strength of gamma radiation I and others received that night, all the personnel during the Project Trinity experiments conducted in 1945 at Ground Zero only received between 1 and 6 total Röntgens of gamma radiation. This leads me to believe we traveled through the wake of radiation produced by the UFOs seen 30 minutes earlier. Source and references: www.muf.
If you see something like that, you're never going to forget it, are you?
No. The radiation levels are quite disturbing, aren't they? The only problem with this case is it's single.
That wasn't the ship that was used in the atomic testing out in the Pacific by any chance, was it?
I have a look at what year was this, Paul. Now, this is 1986. Now, I'll tell you what I think this ship is. I think it's a subchaser.
I don't know, the name seems to ring a bell from somewhere else.
Edenton.
But they do use the same ship names. When they retire one, they reuse the name on a new ship, don't they?
Yeah.
So probably the new ship probably has more better torpedoes on it and missile launching bay on the front and stuff like that, right? And helicopter landing pads.
Right, okay, it's definitely a subchaser, Paul, because there's 4 Edentons that have been listed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one was finished in in 1919. Another was finished in 1945. The third one, a sub-chaser, USS Edenton PC-1077. And okay, there was a fourth one, but that didn't come into service till 1997. So that leaves us with that one, PC-1077, which is a sub-chaser.
Still, we don't know if it was part of the fleet that were patrolling when the nuclear bombs were being lit off at islands in the Pacific, right? And they got fallout.
No, it could have been around at, around at that time.
Yeah, it could have got the fallout from the radiation then, you know.
I don't know.
Or they could have got infected. And how did they know it was radiation? Was it in their bodies?
No. There was a radiation meter aboard. He was talking about the thing clicking like mad.
Yeah, they were all over the ship, wasn't they?
Yeah. Yeah. You're not following the case, Paul.
There's a few of them all over the ship, and they all went off and gave the same reading.
Yep. Nothing to do with nuclear testing. Unless something went off in close proximity at the time.
That's what I mean.
But then again, if he's reporting the lights at the same time, so obviously you've got to make a correlation between what he's seeing and those Geiger counters going off.
What is Project Trinity experiments exactly? It does sound like nuclear, yeah. You know.
Trinity, weren't they in the 50s and 60s?
So he's 1945 there, though.
Okay, right.
Back to 1945.
1986. I don't think there was a heck of a lot of testing going on at sea then. I think we'd learn all we needed to know by then.
But we do know UFOs are attracted to radiation, nuclear stuff, so...
Yep.
I don't think it comes from the UFO itself. I'd say...
Oh, that's what it seems to be to me. That's the logical conclusion for me.
Yeah, maybe they had some weapon on board and it abducted it, and it leaked or something, you know. But who knows? These reports can have missing information, of course. Now that's the problem with using just one source, you know. Probably the Black Vault would have more information on that project, probably Project Trinity, and the UFO encounter.
Yeah.
What's the YouTube say is the experiments? Oh, I didn't want to close. I wanted to copy. Oh no, we got the dog howling. Whenever they hear a police siren or something, they go crazy. Where's copy? Where's the copy? Oh, here it is, way at the top. Strange. Looks like a nuclear test.
Yeah, that is, but it's 1945.
Yeah, that's what it said.
That's not 1945.
See, Paul, what you're talking about there is Trinity Air Force Base. This was in New Mexico. This was the first test of a nuclear bomb before they dropped them on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. This was done on land. They exploded it on a tower. They managed to get away with the explosion, even though it was seen and heard by thousands of people. They managed to get away with saying it was an exploding ammunition dump. And they pulled it off as well.
First detonation of nuclear device, that says what Project Trinity is.
Exactly, yeah.
In conclusion, the strength of all of us that night, all the personnel during the experiments concluded in 1945 at Ground 7, and he received between 1 and 6 total. We travelled through the wave of radiation produced by the UFO. Seen 30 minutes earlier.
Yeah, I think that's the only logical excuse conclusion that you could come to.
So he's just comparing it to the first nuclear test there. Doesn't mean the ship had anything to do with the nuclear test in 86. Of course, it doesn't say it didn't have any nuclear weapons aboard, though, as well.
Well, look at it, Paul. It's only frigate size, isn't it?
It's a small
Sub-chaser.
Oh, I don't know. They were
designed to move quick.
Would they do nuclear torpedoes, you know? Some secret project using...
Look, there was lights and suddenly the Geiger counter went off. You have to put a relationship there between the two.
Nuclear. Well, let's find out if there's any references to anything on board.
Edenton right first, yeah. There you go. Just.
So what's it say about nuclear? Anything there at all?
No.
No,
I've already explained this to you. It was a sub-chaser. I don't see why that would be carrying nuclear weapons. I mean, you never know, but...
Salvage rescue ship.
Right. Nuclear-powered guided missiles. There you go.
Yeah, that's not the one, Paul.
This crewman salvage US Edenton says there.
Yeah. You're trying to find a relationship here that just isn't going to work.
Attack submarine. What's that saying there? Elevated starboard quarter view of the nuclear-powered attack submarine.
Yeah, you click on it, Paul. It's not the same ship.
No. But obviously, it could have been in range of one of these nuclear subs that was leaking something, you know. And yeah, I don't know. I just wee bit suspect when I see Navy and radiation and UFOs. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's factual. There may be something missing there.
What bothers me about the case is it's a single witness case, Paul. If you had other people coming forward that were on board that day,
yeah, you can believe it.
Then yeah, you know, I think you could hang your hat on it then. But as it stands, it's just
it's on the fence, isn't it?
It's on the fence, but interesting nevertheless. But he did actually say that it produced, there was a fairly low amount of radiation in his system.
Righto, on to the next topic one, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, we are taking a hit of 385. What's that? Drone tenge in the period of about 1 minute. Okay. Each equipment on board. All right, we'll leave that one then, and we'll move on to the next. This one's in Oklahoma. By the way, all these are actually MUFON cases, you know.
All right. So who's out there still? Tommy? Plex? I think he may have gone again.
Just us two. Us three. It just says free on here.
Free amigos.
Flagler on June 27, 2006, 5 of our grandchildren were fishing in our pond about 3 p.m. when they saw a big splash on one side of the pond. Everything became still, and the pond became like glass as the object sank. Then they saw a whirlpool in the pond about 8 to 10 feet across that moved very fast across the pond towards them. When it hit the water, there was steam that went up from the object, then the object disappeared to reappear in another area. One of the children got on a boat that was at the bank, and she could see lights around the sides, and the object looked like metal. 2 other children said they saw the lights, but 2 of them said it looked yellow under the water. 2 were still watching it when they saw the water and grass around the pond next to them start to move violently, so they got scared and ran to the house. They were very disturbed by what they saw, and it took 3 hours before they would tell us what had happened. They range from 7 to 13 years old, and all had the same story. The next day we drove around and found truck-like tracks that led towards the pond, but stopped before they got to the pond. There was a circle where the grass had been bent down in an arc shape at the edge of the pond as it splashed into the pond. They said there was a cloud over them that was swirling. The older children thought it might be a tornado that sounded like a muffled lawn mower. I asked the OSU Extension Agency to check for contamination. They informed me there had been 2 other similar incidents. Source and references: www.mufon.com.
God, that's short.
Yeah, that's short. Yeah, there's a lot of them are quite short. So you can see at the bottom there, www.mufon.com. So you see another thing here, they're hiding the names of these children. So there's no real way for anybody else to chase the case up, is there? Yeah.
Well, they normally do with young kids, don't they?
Yes, yeah, but MUFON do that with a lot of their cases. You know, they hide the names.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be simply because the people that reported wish to stay anonymous. But it's interesting there, the OSU Extension Agency to check for contamination. They informed me there had been 2 other similar incidents. Okay, so let's take the story as being true. What could cause that kind of effect then?
What, splash in a pond?
Whirlwind.
Mm-hmm.
Space debris falling down and spinning around under as it goes sinks.
Yeah, because like a vortex like that, like a whirlwind, is isolated, isn't it? So the rest of the water could have been like glass as they described. But then again, there's other parts of it, like a yellowish colour underneath the water. I don't know about that. But there's one thing I've noticed with UFOs going into the water. There's usually very little disturbance of the water when they enter and exit.
But we know that space debris of fuel tanks come down from space, and that would look like a UFO splashing into the water, right? So if you saw one of those,
children, adults, maybe.
Yeah, so
just
you
emphasising that they saw a big splash on the side of the pond. Okay, that does sound like some, human, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sounds like some bloody space rocket part coming down. Did they actually dive in there and have a look?
Well, no, we've just read the story out. You need to follow it, yeah.
Yeah, but it makes sense. If they believe it's a UFO, they'd send a diver in, wouldn't they?
Yeah. 2 are still watching it when they saw the water and grass around the pond next to them start to move violently.
Well, that's what you get with waves.
Yeah, maybe. At the same time, they said
a whirlwind would cause the grass to be.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Charles. That's what I'm thinking, and maybe
it doesn't just stay in one place. It will travel slowly.
Yeah.
Across the fields and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, if you got it, if you got a space, Go ahead.
You're going to go, Paul.
I was just going to say that if you get a space tank that comes down, it's going to cause like a impact wave, right? You ain't going to see it. It's going to be like a expanded waveform of air. It's going to move the grass as well as they're going to feel it. You know, it's like a normal explosion. Yeah. But anyway, carry on.
No, I mean, I've seen quite a few out to sea when I've been fishing, and they disturb the water in one small isolated area, and around it everything appears to be normal. You know, it's just like it's just a mini tornado. We get a lot of them in the UK, but they never get out of hand. They never get that big. You see.
Mm-hmm.
We have had the odd tornado, but not that many, have we?
We actually get them frequently, Charles, if you check it out. But they're so small.
Not like they do in the States.
No.
Doing the damage that they do. We don't get to that degree.
Absolutely not.
But we do get whirlwinds all over the place all the while in the summer times.
Okay, next case. This is even shorter.
Is Paul there?
I don't know.
He must be because the ice is moving.
Yeah.
UFO night sighting from ship on Timor Sea. Published 11:35 a.m. September 18, 2010. I would like to submit the following sighting of an object at night over the Timor Sea. Perhaps there is a known explanation, e.g. space re-entry, in which case I would like to know, or maybe there is another sighting of a similar object on that night. Date and time, September 6, 2010 at 0215 HRS, 05-09-2010/1645 hours UTC. Position, latitude 11 degrees 26.5 south, 128 degrees 09.8 east. Ship heading 107 T at 12 knots. The object appeared to be a lozenge-shaped, bright orange light possibly made up of a row of bright lights, with a slight, silvery tail that tapered to a point approximately 6 times the length of the object. The object appeared ahead of the ship at about 45 degrees on the starboard bow, and crossed ahead, right to left, to disappear behind cloud at about 60 degrees on the port bow. i.e. it was traveling more or less from south to north. The object appeared to travel in a straight horizontal path, at an elevation of about 40 degrees above the horizon. The sighting lasted for about 10 seconds, and the object was traveling very fast. Possible explanations. Meteor, I have seen many of these all over the world, some quite spectacular, but nothing like this. Space debris re-entry, again I have seen these several times, and this did not seem to fit the normal pattern, though I think this would be the nearest possibility. Naval exercises taking place in the area at the time, yes there were, but what could it have been? Aircraft, too fast by far unless it was very close, in which case I should think I would have heard it. Missile, possibly, but again too fast even for a cruise missile, I think, and most other missiles have a trajectory. Perhaps you guys can offer an explanation? Kind regards. Roger Corbett.
We're sending up a drone
Note,
from there.
The Timor Sea, Indonesian, Lot Timor, Portuguese, Mar Timor, is a relatively shallow sea bounded to the north by the island of Timor, to the east by the Arafura Sea, to the south by Australia, and to the west by the Indian Ocean. The sea contains a number of reefs, uninhabited islands, and significant hydrocarbon reserves. International disputes emerged after the reserves were discovered, resulting in the signing of the Timor Sea Treaty. The Timor Sea was hit by a large oil spill in 2009. Wikipedia. Permanent link, http://www.
Was that the BP oil spillage, was it?
Yeah, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this guy's left his name, Roger Corbett, if it's his real name.
I was just wondering if it was a drone that they'd sent off.
Yeah, this is the thing. 2010. There was plenty of pretty handy tech around then, wasn't there?
Yeah.
He said it was had a tail on it though.
A tail. Yeah, well, that rules out a drone then. If his observations were.
There are drones with tails, though, isn't there? You know.
Yeah, there are.
Tail, taper to a point. Oh, it kind of sounds like a meteor, doesn't it?
Silver tail to a point. I don't know.
Is there any part here where he says it veered course, which could anything that could rule out a meteor or a meteorite, I should say?
Sounds like it's pear-shaped anyway.
Yeah.
Would you get a drone that's pear-shaped? You're thinking of the little miniature planes that look like that send off cruise missiles in the war. Is what you're thinking about, Charles?
No, I'm thinking about the modern ones they've got these days, like the Navy and forces have got. Well, they fly over Iraq and stuff like that, you know, and drop.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, like miniature planes.
Well, I think they're quite big. I don't think they're miniature.
Lozenge shaped. I mean, you could almost describe it as a tic tac, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Sounds like a ghost rocket, actually. The shape of it. So it could be something.
Oh, the Scandinavian ghost rockets. Yeah, they were seen to be similar. Yeah, in description as that. Yeah. 1946.
Yeah, I did a good episode on the ghost rockets and possible connection to Victor Schreiberger. If you've not seen it, I'll just put a link to the side. It's well worth having a watch of it. So he had some interest in the plans, you know, it comes from the drawings that look very similar to what we're hearing here. Yeah. So we're coming up to 2 hours. Feels a lot longer for some reason.
It does, doesn't it? I thought the same.
There's a lot of subjects, that's why. Going for a lot of subjects.
Yeah, it could be that. Let's see.
Ghost rocket. I don't know if you've watched this one, have you? Charles?
I have seen that one a long time ago.
Oh, I know you have, but not too sure if other people have seen it.
No, there's a hell of a lot to catch up on, isn't there? There's tons of episodes now.
That's one of my early ones, 3 years ago. Okay, what else we got? We got this one here.
Like that.
Hey?
Could be something like that, couldn't it? It could be something like that.
Yeah, that's what a ghost rocket is meant to look like, yeah.
But with the explanation that you got as well, it could be like that.
And it's very similar to this one up here too. The 1948, which is slightly after the ghost rocket period of 1942 to 44, I think it was. So you have a look at that one too. They thought it was an airship, but no way. 1948, pear-shaped UFO. I think this one's a really credible case of a real UFO or some sort. And the ghost rocket is another explanation. I think it was the Germans were trying to get Schreiber to develop weapons, and he had the idea of making faster rockets using vortexes. So what he was doing is he was heating up water inside the craft and ejecting it out the back in a way that it spirals and creates like a mini tornado, making a cone shape which pushes it along. Well, actually, at the front of it, I think it was, not the back of it. Puts it at the front of the craft and sort of sucks it.
Disappeared then.
I've disappeared, or
yeah, both of you gone.
Yeah, I noticed it myself. It was just a blank screen for a minute, just with you, Charles, on it.
Yeah,
that's really weird.
Twitch was still running.
What I was saying is, basically, the Victor design was meant to create a vortex, like a hurricane, a tornado in front of the craft, which sucks it, creates a hole, and sucks it into the hole. A bit like a vortex, like people talk about UFO vortex. So it might be the way it sort of travels at hypersonic speeds, right? So it could be another explanation why people see vortexes. Yeah, so people haven't watched a lot of these old episodes, but they should really watch it. Of course, then you got the best and must-watch episodes here, which everyone should have watched by now. Because all these old subjects, we keep recovering it each time, right? In all these different cases. What happened there? It's not going to stop. I can see everyone, okay. Best episodes. It's gone really slow for some reason. I hate this pop-out player. The pop-out player. Don't you hate it? Because every time you click on it, it actually starts. Why would you want a pop-out player,
I don't like it either.
I don't know why the link didn't copy, but it's... Oh, right, it's come up now. There's something weird going on here. Anyway, there's the best episode playlists. If you watch those, that'll keep you busy for a while after the show. Why upload it? Anyway.
You keep
they keep adding more and more code. It gets slower and slower, of course, and it causes conflicts because it's using JavaScript and all that. But anyway, we're finished with that one now, are we? Or you want to do a FMI on it?
No. I mean, it's yeah. I'll kind of do it at the end. We'll look at the cases as a compilation rather than each individual one. Anyway, moving on to the next one. Yes.
Did you post one?
No, not yet. Give me a chance. Go.
Still haven't gone slow. I might just have to check the kill switch. I'll just check that now. Go. No, reckons it hasn't started up. Don't know why it's going slow.
You can't blame me then.
Yeah, so this one.
Yeah, this one's over the North Sea, England.
RAF tornado crew spotted UFO over North Sea. Published March 2011. An RAF tornado crew was so stunned when a UFO appeared in front of them, they failed to lock radar onto it. Without warning, the UFO as big as a C-130 Hercules plane appeared, and they had never seen anything like it. The crew were returning from a low-level mission in the UK to RAF Larbruch in Germany, when they were flying through Dutch airspace over the North Sea. Without warning, the UFO as big as a C-130 Hercules plane appeared, and they had never seen anything like it. In written answers about the incident, the pilot said, "I did not lock the UFO on radar. My navigator and I were so surprised we did not think to do so." Indeed, for the majority of the sighting, the UFO was out to one side of my aircraft, which would have required me to maneuver the aircraft to place within the radar field of view. Of more interest, despite repeated radio calls to Dutch military radar, the controller insisted that he could not see the UFO. After landing, our Dutch exchange officer, on my squadron, called Dutch military to discuss the event. The controller insisted that no other radar contact was made at the time in the vicinity. The spooked pilot said the UFO looked nothing like any plane he knew was in any service. Though he described the plane as being as big as a Hercules, it had a smaller wingspan, and the engine exhaust had a light blue afterburner-type flame which was steady, but changing in intensity. Two other RAF fighter jets flying out from Larbruch nearly collided head-on with the UFO, and saw it at the same time, the pilot said. These aircraft would have been close to being head-on to the UFO, while from our tornado, the UFO came down our right-hand side at a great speed, i.e., coming from the direction of the UK. We were doing 0.8 Mach and it readily overtook us, he went on. This was definitely not a Russian satellite, I am 100% certain of that. This was a large aircraft and I could see the detail of the lights and the engine area. I have never seen anything like it. Permanent link, http://www.ufocasebook.
Okay, this is clearly something man-made, isn't it? It's got a wingspan. It's leaving a blue flame behind it, so it's got an exhaust.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see anything potentially alien about this, really.
Yeah, you got to remember that some of these sightings can be when they were doing some secret testing of those early X-planes, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's published. Okay, when did this actually take place again? Case was published in March 2011. Okay. What was the year of the actual event? Is it going to tell us? Doesn't look like it.
Don't see it.
That's the only thing. Why on earth didn't, if it was an airplane, it should have been picked up on radar, unless it was too low.
Unless it's a stealth plane, you know.
Yeah. But you see, he actually says here it had a wingspan. If it's got wings, it's probably an airplane, isn't it?
Yeah.
From what I can tell, the genuine UFO certainly doesn't need wings. No, just doesn't have them. I put that together with the engine exhaust had a light blue afterburner type flame. That's probably because it was an afterburner, which was steady but changed in intensity. So I think we can. I think we can put that one to bed as some kind of secret testing at the time. I'd just love to know the published March 2011, but we don't know the date of the event, do we?
No.
So there's not much to that one, I don't think.
Unless we knew the date.
It would help, wouldn't it? But it's still got aeroplane written all over it. Moving on to a triangle case now over Michigan Lake.
Really?
Okay.
I was driving home from a friend's house, and I was taking supply RD to Fife Lake. I noticed when I had almost reached Williamsburg RD that there was a bright light in the sky. At first it was so low I thought it was part of a tower that might have been worked on or something, but it piqued my interest, so I kept an eye on it as best I could. After I passed the Williamsburg RD turnoff, I descended into the valley before the first turn by Twin Lake, and by then I realized that it was an object hovering over the lake. I did the best I could to pull over and get a good look at it, and when I actually stopped the vehicle and shut it off and stepped out to view it, I got a good look at it. It was a triangular-looking craft, at least the TS with the light pattern made it look like. The lights that were smaller on it were blinking very quickly, and it had a bigger orange-red light that was fairly bright. At first I thought it might be a helicopter, but it did not produce any sound. After I watched it for 20 seconds or so, it took off very quickly to the other side of the lake, and just barely out of my clear view, and the way it moved told me I had witnessed something abnormal. Nothing of this world could possibly move that quickly and smoothly while remaining completely quiet. I've seen several UFOs after I started looking for them, but they have always been star-like or orbs very high up. I always dreamed of seeing something like this, but honestly, having seen it, it really freaked me out at the time. I guess you can never really know until it happens, and I never thought it would, but it was an incredible experience that I will never forget.
Yeah.
Join us on Facebook.
Facebook.
Permanent link, http.
Paul. Okay. So I don't know. This sounds a lot more compelling to me.
Mm-hmm. Has anyone checked the audio lately, just to make sure it's not crackling?
Apparently it's all good, Paul.
Okay.
I'm sure Tommy would let us know if he's still with us.
Oh, actually, he didn't last time. He didn't hear it, I don't think.
Okay.
Sometimes you get a little crackle at the end.
I can't hear it. Watch it. I can't hear it.
I did a quick test now. I didn't hear anything on the output going to Google anyway. I'll go into Twitch, I mean. Yeah, so not much said on that one either. Published in...
No, not much. No, but there's one bit that interests me here. The lights were small on it, were blinking very quickly, and it had a bigger orange light that was fairly bright. Now, I'd love to know where that orange light was. Was it at the centre? Because that's been reported a lot with these triangles. And do you remember that photograph? There was some controversy over from the Belgian UFO wave, which was 1991, wasn't it?
Yeah, but could he have been mistaken on this one? Like, orange is very close to red, and you have the collision avoidance light's quite bright and regular flashing, which is under the under planes as well, and then you get the lights on the corner. It forms a triangle pattern.
Yeah,
it's given us a date here of 2011. Have we got actually time of the sighting? Was it twilight, midnight? Did it say triangle looking craft? It says here a light pattern, so it sounds to me like it's at night time.
They're blinking very quickly.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's during the day, does it? Doesn't have much in the report.
No, there should be far more detail. When they questioned this guy, there should have been far more detail. I mean, I've got 100 questions to ask on this, you know. And,
I still think that could be a mistaken identity, that one too.
Yeah, it could be. The only thing is that if it was silent, that's a bit suspicious, and he says it moved at tremendous speed.
Mm.
I don't know.
Mm.
Yeah, nothing of this world could possibly move that quickly
The
and
wind
smooth.
could drown out the sound of it, though, couldn't it?
Well, remaining completely quiet.
Used to breaking up a wee bit, talking over each other. Charles,
Sorry.
Charles, you need to drop in and out again.
Okay.
He's back, I think.
Okay.
So we've got another link to go. There's not really much we can say on this one.
No, just insufficient evidence, isn't it? And unfortunately, a lot of them like this. Which one was that now? That's Michigan Lake, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Are you with us, Charles?
I'm back now.
Ooh.
Oh. We can't hear you.
You can't hear me.
Now we can. You got your mic muffled or something, no?
No, I haven't. I haven't done nothing.
You go muffled and then you go clear. It's kind of weird.
Sound distant to me.
Are you there, Charles?
Oh, yeah.
No, so
I can hear you two all right.
That's better.
Now you sound all right, but you seem like you're just on a train just in the distance.
I can't because the microphone's right by my mouth.
Yeah, it's all right now for some reason. Something strange was going on there. Anyway, that's good. That's good. You're not corrupted now when Robert talks, I think. Are you there, Robert? Or have we lost him?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are we up to now? Another link?
Yep.
Oh my God, this is the most links you've ever done, I think. And the shortest clips.
Yeah. It's a compilation. That's all it is, really. And we want to get them out of the way so we can start fresh next week.
Oh, okay. It's got the same link. Posted the same link, I think. Looks identical. Casebook.
No.
Yeah, you have. It's the same link. If you read off the code, it's exactly the same.
What?
Yeah, it is. It's exactly.
Okay, give me a chance. Wait there.
Area 51, thanks for joining us.
You see it?
That's what the number went up. A lurker. You got the day off or you're working? So we got another link, have we?
Yeah, hold on, that link looks exactly the same.
It does, doesn't it?
Ooh,
I think you stuffed up, mate.
No, I don't understand what's going on. Yeah, let me try it again.
Sometimes you think...
Try it now. That looks different.
Working in snow. Sounds like fun. Yeah, just make sure to read the DM on Discord there. You got a voucher for Christmas, so spend it. Else they keep the money. So, did you got another link? Looks the same, doesn't it?
It's not.
Michigan. No, it's Michigan. So it's exactly the same as the one above.
Oh, Paul, something's badly wrong here.
It is the same, Rob.
Yeah, I know. Wait there.
He's posted it 3 times now, has he?
Yeah, hold on a minute. Okay, right, this is a different link. Now let's see what happens when I post it. Different link, what happens when I post it? It's gone to the same one. Oh, something's badly wrong. Hold on, let me refresh the page here.
Use a problem. I know sometimes I think I've copied it and I have to go back and redo it. So sometimes it doesn't do it.
Refresh the page now. Let's see. See, this is Spain, and it's showing the link perfectly now. But when I hit enter, now it seems to have worked.
That's got a different one. That's Spain.
Yeah, that was Spain. Can you delete any duplicates here as well? One of the moderators.
Can I delete them?
Don't delete the wrong ones though. So we don't have.
Everybody's a moderator bar me.
Hey, you're a moderator.
Not in here or not. Every single person on here is a moderator bar me. Everybody.
I think you are.
Nothing next to my name. I got the green on it.
No, you're a moderator.
Yeah, I know I am, but I haven't got the bins and nothing on mine. Everybody else.
You have to. I told you that you have to click on the cog next to the chat.
They're already clicked on. I've looked on them and they're already ticked.
I don't know. You must have something missing.
The mod icon's ticked. The moderation actions ticked. The messages is ticked.
Yeah, the thing is, I've got no way of removing anything here either.
Something's going on.
Can you post something? Let's see. Which one should go? No, the Spain one is the new one. He's posted like 4 Michigan ones from 2011.
Yeah. Leave the Spain one, the bottom one, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
See, I've got no way. I've got no right
leave it
at all.
Just leave one of them at the top, Plex, and take the rest off.
Yeah, please.
But you guys should be moderators because I gave you moderators. You're listed as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. I got the moderator.
Fisherman encounters UFO over Badajoz, Spain, river. Published 10:07 a.m. September 13th, 2011. Badajoz, Extremadura, Spain, June 9th, 11. Longitude -6.9702834, latitude 38.87859667. Shape, disc. Distance, unknown. I was fishing with my brother on the Great River Guadiana in Badajoz, Spain, on Thursday, June 9, 2011. It was a wonderful sunny day with only a couple of wispy clouds in sky. It was around 4 p.m., and I was becoming a bit tired and thinking of packing up when I lazily laid back and rested, enjoying the sunshine. I was staring straight up, I suppose 90 degrees to horizon. I must have lay like that for 5 minutes or so when from behind me and directly into my field of vision a clear, black disc-shaped object moved quite rapidly across the sky along the line of the river. My immediate thought was, what the heck is that? As noted above, it was roughly aspirin-sized from my perspective. I called to my brother, who was engrossed in his fishing, to look, and I pointed at where it was. It took me quite by surprise, so I sat up as it moved down the river and towards the horizon. As it was sunny, there was some glare off the water, and my eyes took a moment to readjust. I picked it up again and pointed to it, but my brother only saw some birds downriver and suggested that was what it was. I just put it to the back of my mind for a while, but I keep thinking about it and what it could have been. I don't remember seeing aircraft in the area at all that day. Although there were lots of birds on the river, if it was a bird, that is the first and fastest disc-shaped bird I have ever seen. Join us on Facebook. Permanent link, http://www.ufocasebook.com/2011/Spain060911.html.
I'm looking at the chat. Doing 2 things at once here.
Stop that at the end of the last sentence.
It allows me to delete everybody's message. I won't let the super mod.
I've just deleted them.
I can't do anything.
I've just deleted them because I'm not a mod, apparently.
Chat pause due to scroll. What's that? Oh, you got to click on the message. I guess it goes away. Okay. Well, if you deleted it, have we got any that's left? Probably deleted all of them. It doesn't matter. Okay, so I wasn't really listening. What was this one again? Spain.
Yeah, well, the only thing with this one, 2 witnesses unnamed, a disc sighting, which is your classic UFO, if you like. But it's at distance. This is the problem. It's the type of UFO sighting that many people have had. Could well have been something, but it may well have been something mundane that was misidentified. So, unfortunately, there's not a great deal to this case either.
You mean a balloon?
Well, it could have been, couldn't it? Could have been a lot of things. Let's just hope I don't have the same problem now posting this next case.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is Oklahoma, Lake Eufaula. I'm just going to refresh the page here to make sure I'm getting the right link.
There's definitely something going on tonight.
Definitely.
So, how come you can delete messages now, Charles? That means you're a moderator then.
Well, I'm not a moderator, I didn't say. I'm just deleting them.
Which means you're a moderator if you can delete.
I'm just binning them. Yeah,
you wouldn't
I've got the green thing saying I'm a moderator, but I haven't got no bins or nothing next to me. But everybody else who's on here has got the bins and timeouts and everything.
No,
I haven't got that.
I haven't, Charles.
You have on it on mine, on my screen. You've got it on yours.
Well, I can't find it on mine.
Tommy.
I've got no way of deleting anything, mate, honestly.
You got to have a little tick on. The little circle's got to be on the right-hand side for show moderator actions. Show messages.
Yeah, there's a tick on it. It's ticked.
A tick,
I've
tick,
just looked
tick.
in the preferences.
I don't know then.
Yeah, listen, you've got to understand that this Twitch is quite new. So it's going to have bugs in it, and that's obviously what's going on.
Yeah.
Have you tried reloading the admin page, see if they show up?
Tommy's saying it's fair because you can click on them. I don't have those buttons. I haven't got anything. I haven't got any buttons to press.
I can see them.
We can't make everybody moderators because it'd be mayhem.
I know exactly, but you need the people who are on regular to be moderators.
Yeah. Oh, and Area 51 is. He's got all the bins and timeouts and everything as
well.
Charles, this is no fault of ours.
I know.
Those icons next to people's names is for you to moderate them easily, to delete message or ban them or time them out. So it'll appear on everybody's message that you can actually control, Charles. You won't actually get it next to yours. I don't think.
Yeah, Tommy explained to us here, like, yeah, I know what's going on. I mean, I've got no option to. I can't delete anybody's comment or remove anything.
That's
because he's not a moderator. He hasn't got a green thing next to it. I don't even know what that green thing is. Is it a rocket or something? Yeah. Normally you get a spanner.
It says moderator if you look at it.
Yeah, but
moderator if you look at it.
Is it a word moderator? I can't see it. No, it's like a little rocket.
Yeah, if you hover over it, it says moderator.
Yeah, so of course it does.
Yeah, and it says moderator, but I've got no option.
Oh, right, could be a sword. Yeah.
Or anything like that. It's a bug, Paul. Don't blame it on anybody else. It's a bug.
Well, I'm not getting any problems.
It's nothing we're doing wrong. Two of us can't be wrong, can we?
Oh, you can. We're talking about Rob, and Charles, the problem users.
I'm always trouble.
Yeah, that's what it is. We're just thick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thick and trouble.
Yeah, funny how it works. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh well.
No YouTube, it's Twitch. It's full. It's a bag of bugs.
Put it this way: if you're thick, then Gufon must be 1,000 times below that level. He can't even do a live stream and do green screen properly. Everybody else can. He reckons it's going to take him 6 months to figure it out. So yeah, you guys are way ahead of him. I reckon you guys can figure it out quicker.
I think third phase will pop in and help him.
Yeah, probably. Although they don't do live streams, what they do is they do a pre-record, right, and then they put it up as a premiere, and they sit there and hope people are going to donate on the side chat.
Or play Army.
Yeah, they definitely do patrol and delete comments. That's for sure. And ban people that's suggesting that they're frauds. So yeah, be interesting to see how many thousands of people they got in the block list. Third phase. Anyway,
A lot.
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah.
You know, they reckon they don't ban anyone, right, for having a say. You know, but they do.
Yeah.
Hypocrites, all these channels.
I should go through that one again if I were you, Paul.
What's that?
That the last one.
Go through it again.
Yeah, it's only a short one anyway.
Yeah, we haven't even started.
We were preoccupied, wasn't we?
And read it again.
Source and references.
Alright, it's gone to the end. Stupid thing.
Yeah, hold on. Is this the disc shape one? Yeah, we've discussed this. We'll move on to another one now.
Okay, yeah. This is the balloon one, but Charles said read it out again. But anyway.
No. Well, we don't know it's a balloon. We don't know what it is. It was too far away. Just insufficient data on that one.
Leave it then. Go to the next one.
Okay, Plex is talking to you guys. I'm not sure if you answered them.
Plex, in the upper right above the chat is the 3-point menu. Go there and check mod symbols.
Yeah.
Okay, upper right.
Ticked.
Upper right. Yeah.
In the settings, you mean at the bottom?
No, at the top.
In the wheel.
Offline.
The 3 dots.
Yeah,
users
it's showing me on there.
I've got users in chat and pop out. Do you mean the 3 dots or the 3 bars? The 3 bars. Oh, right, there's 3 bars. Where does he say go? 3 bars, I think he means. On the top left, right.
Top left? Is that
check moderator symbols.
No,
well,
upper right, he's saying, Paul.
Upper right. If I go to upper right 3 dots, all I get is users in chat and pop out, which I don't use now because I got OBS.
Users in chat, okay. Moderators, Area 51, Charles, Diamond, and Plex. Broadcasted out. Yeah, that's not helping me much anyway. Directly above chat. What the hell's going on here?
Yeah, I think maybe his layout is different. I don't know.
Yeah.
Upper right.
I got 3 bars here.
Yeah, I don't see that setting.
Not on me.
He's in mod view. Okay, so if you go 3 dots and go users in chat, no, I don't know.
Hold on, the only 3 dots I can see are in the bottom right hand side. Oh no, that's
so they've got users in chat on the top right hand side next to stream. If you go to the top of it, there's like 2 symbols there. There's not dots.
Yeah, well, I've got show
there.
mod icons ticked in the cog, and you said you got that turned on.
Yeah, they're all turned on. 3 of them are.
Oh, I've actually got 4 timestamps as the other one.
Yeah, but I haven't got that one on. I've got the other 3 above it. They're in purple.
I think they got it turned on. It should be showing up for them, like it is for me and Plex. All the ones that you can moderate should have the icons next to the name, right? But the OBS chat doesn't show that. But you can see on the OBS chat it does show who your moderator is, because it puts the little sword icon next to your name. Area 51's got it. Tommy is the only one who hasn't got it. Everyone else has got it by the looks of it. But there's meant to be some other ones where you get special VIPs, which allows you to do some stuff. But I can't get there because I ain't got over 50 followers. So I've got to get the followers first before I can even upgrade and allow new things for people. It's kind of stupid how they restrict us like that. They shouldn't restrict anybody. Everybody should have the same features available, right, to sell memberships and all that.
Yeah.
Why should it be restricted to having 50 people? That's kind of stupid.
Don't make sense, does it?
No.
Okay,
but Google's worse. You got to have like 10,000 subs before you can even have a merch store or have t-shirts underneath the video, which is ridiculous. Everybody should have that because they get money from it, because they partnered with the merch stores that you can add underneath. I don't know what people are thinking in these places that manage these streaming services and video platforms, but they're sort of killing off the system really and limiting potential money. You know,
it's all of it. It's Amazon and eBay and everything. They're all doing the same.
You know, as soon as I had ads, they took it away from me, because then they changed it that you had to have 4,000 hours watched, which was ridiculous if you're doing 15-minute videos, right? That means you're going to have a lot of people watching before you get ads on. And then they brought out live streams, which allows you to do 3-hour streams, and you can have quite a few hours watched from 20 and 50 people watching, or 100, you know, if they watch it fully, of course. You could easily get that 4,000 hours. But yeah, it's stupid having all these limits on. Everybody should be able to make money, even if you sold $5 a year and they get 30% of it, they're still making money from you. Why limit making a couple of bucks here and there? Because even though you might get a donation of $20, it still might be a pair headset that you can use on your live streams.
It all adds up with the millions of people that are using the systems, isn't it?
So the big channels said, "Oh, I don't think it's really worth having ads on, you know, if you're not over a certain amount." But you know, $100 is $100 by the end of the year, right? So it does make a difference, the extra money, because it means you can improve your system a wee bit, better mic or headset, or maybe something towards a membership that you use on the channel, which we do. We use applications and stuff. So we better carry on, shouldn't we? Did we get a link after all that? Plex has posted some stuff here. What's that one there? Is that the one we want? Did I already?
Yeah, I don't know. Is it going to be like a technical thing now, or are we going to get on with the cases?
Just get on with the cases.
Yeah, because this isn't.
I am getting on with the cases.
Yeah, but it needs to be sorted out. Not in the middle of the live stream, do you know what I mean?
Unknown object hovers over Lake Eufaula, Oklahoma. Published 12:58 p.m. June 11, 2012. Chakota, Oklahoma, June 7, 12. I was camping and fishing at Lake Eufaula when I saw lights in the sky. I watched them for a few minutes as they came closer to the water's surface completely silently. It hovered over the water, and all lights went off. I could still see it clearly in the moonlight. It was triangular/teardrop in shape. It was huge, at least 90 feet wide, maybe 20 feet tall. Something cylindrical extended from beneath and touched the surface of the water. It stayed that way for about 5 minutes, then it went back in, and the object very quickly went back up so fast the water splashed and made waves. Once it was up about 300 feet, the lights came back on, and it sped off north and up. Not 10 minutes later there was a large black chopper with only one small tail light, which circled the area, then hovered in the same area for no more than 15 seconds, spotlighting the water. Then it too left in the same direction. I don't want people to think I'm nuts, so I don't want to give my name, but I know what I saw. I was pretty close, and nothing that big man-made can be that quiet and quick. Note: Lake Eufaula, Oklahoma's largest lake, is located in southeastern Oklahoma near the city of Eufaula. Covering 105,500 surface acres with 600 miles of shoreline, Lake Eufaula is a precious Oklahoma resource.
Okay, that's it, Paul.
Permanent link: http://www.ufo.
Now, this sounds like a better case, as short as it is. And this thing about like a cylindrical tube extended from beneath and touched the surface of the water. That does get my interest, this one, because there's been so many other cases of the same ilk. What do they need our water for, I wonder? Interesting part there with the chopper peeping on the scene within 15 minutes as well. So whatever it was, it must have been, if this guy is sincere, of course, they must have detected it somehow. Okay, so he's remained anonymous by the looks of it. So it's another case then that you just couldn't follow up. Is this a MUFON case? Yes, submitted to MUFON. Yeah, that's a classic encounter, isn't it?
They don't put the case numbers down, do they?
Have they not?
No.
No, they have no.
So we don't really know if it is a MUFON case.
Yeah, it says they're submitted to MUFON.
Yeah, we've seen plenty of them before, and now not.
Yeah, especially on Tyler's show.
Okay. Like Eufaula. I think that's quite a good case, that one. I quite like it. Okay, here's another Fisherman case here. Let's hope everything's going smoothly. Now we're posting these links. Oh, that's interesting. Area 51 ambulance saying I live about 50 miles from there. Okay. And he's actually been there. He's wakeboarded there. I'm not sure what wakeboarding is. Can you tell us what that is, please, sir?
I thought that was torture, where they stick a thing over your face. Waterboarding.
Oh, that's waterboarding. Good God.
Wait, I think that might be like surfing. You know, with
probably is. Yeah.
Windsurfing.
Sure. Yeah, we'd probably call it something different in the UK, wouldn't we?
Yeah. Windsurfers.
Yeah, if you live that close, it'd be interesting if there's any other sightings over that particular area or lake. Maybe you can let us know.
Get to it.
Yeah, get to it. Okay, next case.
Coming up to 3 hours already, yeah.
Yeah, we've only got 1 or 2 more to do, Paul, and we'll call it a day.
Inky River.
At least then all these old cases now are out the way, and I can start fresh for next week. Okay, like boat skiing on a snowboard. Yeah, I've got you. Yeah,
it's like a single ski, isn't it? Rather than 2 skis, and they tow you behind the boat.
Yeah.
Geez, hold on, but I don't know, because, geez, no. I mean, if you're behind a speedboat and you're wrapped up forward, you're just going to get dragged along.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be too pleasant. No, I don't like the sound of that.
Well, you don't fall off then.
Yeah, okay.
We don't. Water at speed.
Published 1:05 p.m. June 10th, 2013. Yankeetown, Indiana, June 8th, 13. My nephew and I went fishing on the Indiana side of the Ohio River on Saturday, June 8th. We were sitting on the north side of the river just east of a large power plant and factory on a dirt road running adjacent to the river. At some time around 9 p.m. I noticed a bright light above the Kentucky side of the river. Jokingly, I said to my nephew that here comes a UFO, and went back to fishing, and didn't give the light another thought. Earlier a plane had flown over coming from that general direction, and I assumed it was another plane coming from the Owensboro area. Shortly afterward, my nephew said, "What the hell is that?" He was pointing at the light, which was now pulsating rapidly and moving up, then down, but was hovering. Then it moved from our southeast to the east over the river. The object was maybe 1 mile away when it went over the river. The object would hover and move up and down, and the light would pulsate and get very bright, then dim, until it just either faded out or moved directly away from us rapidly and disappeared. Needless to say, we were astounded by what we had just witnessed and kept our eye on the general area where we last saw it. Maybe 5 or 10 minutes later the object reappeared in the same general area that we first saw it, and this time it was over the tree line closer to the river than earlier. The object became very bright and intense, and a beam of light came down and through the trees. It didn't appear to move at this time, but just hover. The object became so intensely bright that it cast a reflection on the river, and you could plainly see the bright object and the beam in the reflection. This lasted maybe 1 to 2 minutes, then the beam stopped and the object began to move from the southeast toward the east. As the object moved it became dimmer, and either moved directly away from us, or just faded out of view. We stood there on the river bank amazed at what we saw, and could not come up with a valid explanation of what we saw. We saw what might have been the same object, but much farther away again, maybe 5 to 10 minutes later in the same area. I would estimate the total time from the first sighting to the last as at least 20 minutes. There were a few boats on the river, both private and barges, that we could see. This was also much closer to the Boonville Boat Club, which is a large area of river camps, and I would think that we were not the only ones to see this object. Permanent link, http://www.
This sounds like a search.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking helicopter at one time.
Yeah. It's got a search type
Yeah.
thing about it. Searching for something.
Yeah. But surely you'd know if it was a helicopter.
Yeah, because you hear it.
Yeah, you can make a hell of a den.
It wouldn't be as bright as what they're saying.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't, would it? If you drank then dim. Yeah, moved directly away from us rapidly and disappeared.
Maybe they dropped TT on the ground, or a few of them. And they were looking around and they come back to pick them up.
Yeah. Well, you can see the artist's rendition there. Did he say that it was saucer shaped, or is the artist taking liberties here? No, he just said it was a bright light, didn't he? He didn't say it was any distinguishable shape to it.
It's got UFO shape on top of the trees, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Whatever it is.
I wish they wouldn't do that, you know.
Yeah, they should
whatever
draw
it is, whatever it does, though, isn't it?
They should draw a picture.
That's
Yeah, they should draw the picture themselves for the article, right?
Yeah.
Based on what the description's saying. It wouldn't take too long to knock up a little bright light above trees from use a background image of trees and just add what the description was.
Yeah, you see, well, you can see here sources and references. MUFON again. It's a MUFON case. That's where it's being reported to, and the graphic is www.UFOCasebook, which is the site. So they've concocted that illustration, and it's just
wrong.
I don't like to do that. But that's another interesting case. Couldn't have been a helicopter. And what else can hover? Nothing really. Have you a jump jet?
Only drones, and they're too small.
Drones, of course.
Way
yeah,
too small.
Yeah. This was 2030.
Unless it's a hang glider with a spotlight.
No, it don't have that.
Hang glider.
Yeah, well, you get those hang gliders that get towed along by boats, of course, and yeah, they can have like a spotlight on it, you know. So who knows? It could be man-made.
It was being towed away from here. It might look like it's standing still.
And if they had some sort of light system on it or a hand torch shining it down.
But then again, surely you'd see a boat under it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's see. Do they do nighttime? What do you call it? Glider, parachute,
hang gliders,
paraglider, behind boat. What year was it, by the way?
2013.
Yeah, so it's in the realms, isn't it? So something like that, you know, where you got
they're more parachutes.
And it was August, so at 9 p.m. there should still have been a bit of light there.
Yeah, but did they do
hold
that?
on. No, it's the 8th of the 6th because the Americans put the that date order in reverse to us in the UK. So it's June. So yeah, it definitely should have been light.
2 people on that one? Look how big that is. Being towed behind.
Because they haven't got no lights on either.
Yeah, but did they do it at night time? You know, that one looks pretty dark at night here. Where's it gone? One's at night time, is it? Twilight? 9 p.m. you said. Over America, that could be where twilight's happening. Because the curvature of Earth's different there. Here it goes instantly dark. Over there it slowly gets dark. So you'd have to put night flight. Well, if it's on a lake, it sounds like it could be somewhat similar to what we're seeing here. Night flights. There's one with a propeller on the back.
Yeah, we see them over the UK.
Which don't need a boat to tow them.
They're flying all over the place in the UK.
But that's what I'm saying. It could be something like that. Then they didn't see the parachute, maybe, and
microlights.
See, that one's dark. But we're not getting enough images, really, to go by.
There in the door.
Yeah, there was one there, dark, or twilight, or whatever. Evening. But yeah, beam of light. Be good to get some nighttime shots if there are some, and see if they've got lights on it. People out there would know if they're on the water all the time, I guess. What else do they use? They definitely do that. They also got those jet skis now, that like the water jet skis. 2011, I think that's when they sort of come out. Jet ski, water jets. You've probably seen them on TV. These ones here that use the jet water. Not that one.
Yeah.
This one here. Okay. And it doesn't need a passenger. So what they can do is they drive around. They control the boat themselves. I'm not sure if it's done remotely. And they just follow behind on the jet ski. It just pulls them along. Right. I suppose that's waveboard in there.
That's interesting, but
I wouldn't be that anyway, I don't think.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, that one. And they got the boats behind to see. Have they got any people on them? Oh, those ones have. But they're not connecting to these ones, so it looks like it's going off to the side and not got the full picture. That one's got a passenger as well. But I've seen it without passengers. Maybe that's newer ones where they don't want a driver. What the hell's that? Look at that thing.
Oh, my voice just goes under the water, isn't it?
Yeah, looks like a shark.
They just go just under the surface of the water and
but could it be? Yeah, but this UFO, could it be something like that? Where they've just got mistaken?
Oh, come on, that's a noisy thing that's dragging that, Paul. So you'd have to take them for being a bit dumb
or deaf.
Yeah, or both.
Lake UFO mistaken. Let's see if anything comes up with that one.
Paulus is desperately trying to fit a square peg into a round hole now.
Oh, lake. That's not how you spell lake, is it?
Not even close.
So we got mirages, Fata Morgana.
Yeah, in the middle there. That's lenticular cloud on the left there. Lenticular cloud there. That looks like the Northern Lights. That's a rocket.
Look at that. That's pretty cool. One of those
it's a rocket launch.
That one.
That's a rocket launch as well.
Or is it ice cloud? Mystery balls of light. There you go.
That's what it looks like to me.
Oh, that one there is. That's a rocket gone wrong.
Yeah, definitely.
What's these things here? 6 spy planes.
I don't think there's any natural phenomena that can explain what he's seen there.
Not realistically.
No, not at all.
Oh well. Be interesting to see what the MUFON close to is, though. Was there another link to go?
Yeah, we got one more.
One more.
Yeah. So I've timed this fairly well.
Can I link my YouTube channel? I don't know. Well, has it been checked out and approved? You normally post it on Discord first, and then we know.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah. why I post my inventions. I don't know what that's got to do with ufology, though.
Maybe he's got a UFO.
Uh-huh. Anyway, should we move on to the last case? Posted.
I suppose you can post it and we'll have a look. Then we can delete it if we don't agree with it. I think here you can post links unlike YouTube, so that's a wee bit better. I clicked on it. Why is it not working?
UFO moves over boat in Mountain Home, Arkansas. Published 2:38 p.m. May 16, 2013. Mountain Home, Arkansas, May 15, 13. My family and I were on the lake. We had been out there all day. We threw out some floats for catfish around 8 p.m. and headed back to the docks, slowly cruising on the pontoon boat. As we came around the bend of one of the bays, we could see the lights from the docks. Just above all the lights there was a small, very shiny star. I said to my son, "Hey, look at that star." We all looked, and then it got bigger and bigger. The light was so bright, but didn't have a beam as any other light would when shining at night. Then as it came closer to the boat, we stopped and shut the boat off. The light started to dim, then it came about 30 feet from the boat or less, and hovered for a minute or two. Then it went to the left as it hovered over the water. There were pulsating lights of a silver tint. It wasn't a huge craft, but it was big. The light was so bright at the beginning of the sighting it was unreal. It was so close to us, and it was transparent, or black at the same time. I think I could see through it, but it was black at the same time. This could have been from the sky, but I am not sure. The whole thing was pretty incredible. Permanent link, http://www.
Thing about this, it was translucent, but yet black at the same time. I've heard that kind of thing before.
I don't know how it can be both at the same time.
Yeah, well, I don't know, but lots of people have reported that, Paul, that kind of thing. So there's something going on. I don't know what it is. Unless the witness was mistaken.
It was translucent. There must be a sun behind it.
No, it's that.
So you could see through.
Yeah, possibly. Could be something simple like that. That almost sounds like it was in and out of cloaking. I don't know.
Wasn't a sphere? It wasn't a sphere with a cube inside, was it?
No. Strange though. I mean, you'd have to see it yourself. I mean, it's easy to sneak at it, isn't it? But you know, unless you were there yourself and you witnessed it as well, it's just so difficult to say. And there's no way in any of these cases that really is there.
No. But we do get mistaken with our eyes and Fata Morgana and all that sort of business, and atmospherics. We were looking at Google Earth yesterday, how they can create these pink UFOs from lens flare of all things. That makes
UFO. Come on.
Makes a circle with a wedge shape. And they're saying it's on third phase. What they're saying it is 100 miles across.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could see it wasn't a craft. You could see it was like a light effect that was going across the wires, wasn't it? So,
laughable.
It's a joke, isn't it?
They're quite an act, aren't they?
Yeah, they say the blind are leading the blind. Well, they're definitely the blind leading the blind, or the frauds leading the blind anyway. But they are big joke, all right.
Yeah, go on.
No, they're a big joke, all right. Hypocrites.
was listening to William Poulin the other night, and he was talking about a lot of these channels declared themselves that they put themselves down as entertainment, and that's the kind of get out clause for basically posting a load of shite.
That's exactly right.
Put it in simple terms. I mentioned in the comments, and William picked up on it, there's too many people hiding behind that entertainment label, and he went off on a bit of a tangent then about, and he was talking about Dave Scott's show as well, and that Keith Andrews, that it's actually well worth listening to, and what was actually done to him. I'm not going to discuss it here now, but you have a look. San Antonio Investigations of Aerial Phenomena, or whatever it is. But you have a listen to that, and I could not believe what was actually said there and what had been going on. Now, I knew there'd been a fallout between like William and Dave Scott, but I didn't know what it was about. And Chris Cogswell, he doesn't bother going on there anymore either. They've had enough of that bloody show. Yeah.
They used to be his monthly special guests, didn't they? Those two.
Yes. Yeah. Well, listen to that, and you'll find out what's happened.
Well, if you look at some of the guests he's had on recently, talking about channeling. And other stuff. There's a lot of woo-woo. Anyone making up a story can go on his show. There's a guy that was claiming to talk to aliens, wasn't he? Not recently. C5 stuff.
Well, the biggest fruitcake they've got on there is Keith Andrews. I was going to play a little bit. He's got his own channel as well, and oh my God, I was just, when you want to switch something off, it's so bad. But it's like so bad that you can't. You just kind of flummoxed. You're listening to it and you're thinking, good God, how has this guy even got as many subs as he has? I mean, there must be that many nut jobs out there that follow him. That the guys
and then the genuine channels like ours, and we can't get the people on here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know it. I know we're kind of slow and methodical, and maybe some people that's boring, but if you're not prepared to listen, then you're not going to get good information. That's how I see it. If you want a quick fix of sensationalism, by all means, go to those stupid channels, but you won't find the truth there. Not a chance.
If you want to learn something, come on here and Paul will soon show you. As far as I know, he's one of the best around, Paul is, for showing you things.
Yeah.
Don't make my ego too big.
No. So the thing is,
keep you in a good mood. That's all.
When you're following these fake channels, these woo channels, they can take you down a very nasty little rabbit hole,
Yeah.
Once you go so far down that rabbit hole, it's a dark and lonely place if you try and turn back.
Too many tunnels to get out of it.
Jesus. Yeah, and then you can go down the next tunnel, which is equally as bad or worse. And
before you know, you're in a big maze, then, aren't you, with all these frauds?
And people just don't accept it. Full disclosure is not a reality. It's not an option. There's only one way that's going to happen, and I honestly think that would be if something so big and unprecedented happened, that it would have to be forced out. And people are saying now we're close to critical mass, we're very close to a tipping point. No, we're not. We're nowhere near the point where now can actually be pulled back. There's enough plausible deniability at the moment with what they have released, which is a very lame, soft disclosure. Lame at best. I mean, at the moment...
is anybody going to believe them if they do that, though, because of these frauds? If somebody comes out with some sort of truth, are you going to believe it?
I think, I think if there's enough evidence, then you have no choice but to believe it. if it came in the form of government documents and basically military gun camera footage and other stuff like that, then you'd have a choice to believe it.
Yeah.
But I don't see any reason at all for any government to. I mean, you think about it. What they've got their hands on is like their personal casebook, isn't it? It's their personal information. So why would they really want to share that with the rest of the world? I mean, you can't tell your friends without telling your enemies. They know full well other countries like Russia and China, they've been keeping an eye on this UFO problem for decades as well. So everyone holds tightly, keeps their cards close to the chest, don't they?
Yeah.
So why would they want to share everything they've got when Russia and China aren't sharing what they've got? It doesn't make any sense, and it could cause an absolute furor if they did release what they do know. And I don't think they know everything. I think they know a hell of a lot more than what the general public know, or I think at least they've got more evidence that it's a reality than the general public do. I don't.
I think some of them would know more than others, wouldn't they? Some of them would know more than others.
Yeah, of course.
If they got together and put it collective together and to find out more between them, wouldn't they?
Yeah, but that's not the way it works.
No.
I mean, you wouldn't share your nuclear technology with.
No.
Yeah.
Especially with Russia or China at the minute or wherever.
Well, they're potential adversaries.
Yeah.
But the whole disclosure thing is a nasty little rabbit hole, and it's always good to just keep in mind that they won't share anything unless it's going to be a benefit to them.
We're on the best side of it anyway.
Yeah, I think we are. And if there was some kind of a fuller disclosure, we're more in a position where we could handle it. Now, the average guy on the street, which is 98, 99% of people, are going to get a hell of a shock, That's why it's been so softly so far.
We don't know when it's going to come now, do we? I mean, it could be 50 years. It might not even come for another 100 years.
Yeah, exactly. It probably won't be alive. I'm not sure that. But they I think it's interesting now with the current environment of certainly an increased openness. The conversation, at least, is going on now. If something like the Phoenix Lights happened again tomorrow, I don't think they'll be able to cover it up in the same way as they did back in 1997.
Yeah, but like I said though, there's far too much Mickey taking now, isn't there? With these stupid channels. That's what I think.
Well, they're the whole reason why people don't want to be affiliated with the UFO thing, because of people like them.
Yeah.
They must listen into a channel like that, and anybody with critical thinking is going to be, I don't want nothing to do with these guys. I don't want nothing to do with UFOs, just because of the way they're talking, spewing out nonsense week after week, episode after episode of complete nonsense.
Yeah.
And then you've got goof on stamping on everybody in the UFO community, even the good guys.
Stamping on them, slagging them off and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Calling them this, that, and the other.
Yeah, in
it's not on.
Little way. No, but it is. It is what it is. Yeah, it's the ufology is the Wild West. There's no boundaries. There's no laws. There's no regulations.
Well, there isn't with Google. No laws when it comes with Google. They don't help anybody.
Well,
apart from them lot.
Yeah, I mean, Google is suppressing a lot of stuff as well. As I never type anything into UFOs about UFOs into Google, because they put what you want to know at the bottom of the search. There's better ways than searching than Google.
Yeah, don't use Alexa.
Oh God, no. No need to use that.
There's a lot of them doing it now, though. It's on everybody's wish list. I think these Alexas and Google.
Yeah, well,
things and stuff.
My mate's just bought me a new television. It's an LG Ultra HD TV, and it's got AI on it. And that AI is Alexa.
Yeah.
Which I didn't really want, but it came with a TV, and it was really good of him to spend that much money.
You can turn that off, though, can't you?
For a Christmas present. Yeah, of course you can. Yeah.
I'd turn it off. I wouldn't have that on it.
No. I mean, it's not even a novelty thing anymore, is it?
No, it's just spying.
Yeah.
Okay, so we might have to wrap up now. End the chats there.
Okay.
Yeah.
15 past 3 here. We've got only 3 watchers now, so I was just playing around with the emanations, see how well the CPU was holding up. It did pretty good there.
I think that's the most subjects Robert's ever covered since I've been with you.
Yeah, but they were really short stories. Yeah. But the theme was the same, wasn't it? It was UFO&Water cases. But anyway, we've got them out the way now.
Did you keep a tab of all the times there for chapters at all?
I tried, yes, I've tried.
Yeah, because it's going to be a big list, which I'm not going to have.
Yeah,
that's what I kept saying. This is a flipping long list.
I think what you should do there, Charles, is just put them all under one heading: UFO&Water cases.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing, but really you should have A as this one, B as this one, C as this one.
Come on, man.
Well, if you want to put chapters to each of the stories, and if you want to reference it in future. But anyway, we better end now. And say good night, everybody, and thanks for joining us and joining the side chat. And let's see how the ending goes now.
Okay, see you, Rob.
See you later, Charles.
See you guys.
There
we go. CPU's gone up now. Good night all. Thanks for joining us again. Kiwi-ish Matrix is shutting down. What happened now? Something crazy happened here. Okay, I better end it. Where's the thing?